Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you're excited, but I know I am because it's the start of postseason basketball. Yes, the Gulf South Conference Tournament starts tonight, and with me to break it down is head coach of Union women's basketball team, Coach Mark Campbell. Coach, congratulations on a great regular season, and thank you for joining us for the pregame show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, first off, I want to again give you some more congratulations for being named the Conference Coach of the Year, as well as Chelsea Shumpert, the Conference Player of the Year. What do those awards say about your coaching staff and your team as far as accomplishments during the regular season?
Well, I mean, basically, every good business, every good team is based upon the whole big picture, and so it comes down to having really talented people. And so we've had a very talented team who has been very unselfish and had great hearts, and I have two assistants that are very, very different and yet work very hard in their different gifts. And so it's been a joy to be around all of them. It's been really easy to be honest with you.
Well, like I just previewed, we are moving into a new season. We are in postseason play. How do you carry momentum from the regular season now into this brand new season?
Well, you know, I don't think we had a lot of momentum coming into the postseason. So it's a matter of us just getting better. You know, Coach Meyer used to say it all the time. It's just about getting better, one possession at a time. I used to kind of think it was just what he said, but we have to concentrate on getting better individually, 1% every time we go out.
Now let's talk about tonight's matchup. Delta State coming in here, 10-10 in conference play, 12-14 overall. This is a team that really prides themselves on defense. How do you first get a consistent offensive flow against a team that plays very well defensively?
Well, against them, you have to make shots. When you make shots from three, it really opens things up against them. They play very hard. You know what's coming with them. They don't do anything that's complicated. They just do what they do very well. And so he's got a very young team. Craig does a really good job. He's one of my favorite people in the coaching industry. So we'll have to play well.
Well, let's talk about your defensive effort tonight as far as how are you going to combat the speed and the offensive attack, specifically from Jordan and Rush tonight?
Yeah, we've got to do a really good job off ball screens, and our posts have to do a really good job helping. You know, I think one of them had 22 the first time, and the other one had 15. So we can't allow that kind of point production from those two. Those are their best players, and they're two of the best guards on any team in the league.
Now let's talk about your team. How important is it right here, right now, pushing now and starting the postseason? How important is team unity and cohesiveness?
Well, by this point in time, if you don't have it, you have a lot of trouble. And so does your team enjoy one another? Do they pull for one another? Do they care about one another? And this team really does. And we got a lot of players from a lot of different backgrounds. And it's just been, again, it's been very enjoyable. We hadn't had, any problems whatsoever. Obviously, people with confidence, things like that. But as far as relationally, it's been very easy. And so I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, now let's talk about, again, the start of this game. Again, playing at home in the postseason, you want to look to come out and play good at the beginning of the game, specifically take advantage of that first quarter. What are some keys tonight to start the game off strong?
Well, I think we have to get some stops on their two guards, and obviously I think getting out in transition. If we get defensive stops, then we can control the pace. And when we control the pace, I think we're a really good team and a hard team to beat. So that's going to come down to us getting stops defensively, especially with those two, making sure there's no second shots, and then trying to find people in transition. If we can get going early with that, again, like I said, we're difficult to guard if we can get out in open floor.
All right, well, Coach, we appreciate your time as always. We'll see you after the game.
Thanks.
All right, well, coming up here on E+ TV6, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to take it inside the TV studio as our good friend Logan Whaley chats with one of Union's newcomers this season in Kyvan Gooden-Rogers. So stay tuned. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the interview here on E+ TV6.
On a lawn mowing service, propane works for you. Propane can go where you go. Tanks easily changed, no spillage, quick transition, clean burn, increased energy efficiency. Propane, the affordable, clean alternative fuel wherever you mow. Find out more about JA's ProGas. Call 422-7500. Propane, the alternative fuel that makes sense. Part of JEA today.
So I've been part of the Jackson 24/7 news team. I've enjoyed covering the weather. We have every kind of weather conditions in West Tennessee. When snow comes, we have to be ready to tell you how it will affect us. When severe weather strikes, it could be a matter of life or death. But we also have our share of sunny days that bring out the best in the people of West Tennessee. Everybody needs to know what the weather is going to be. That's why I'm part of the Jackson 24/7 news team.
Miles Randall, part of the team you trust on TV6.
Propane, 95% generated in the U.S., is a gas that works anywhere. Central tanks for fleets, vehicles, portable tanks for forklifts, lawnmowers, the fuel you can take anywhere. Even backup generation runs off propane. Household appliances, outdoor features. To find out more about affordable, clean, versatile propane, contact JEA's ProGas, 422-7500, the alternative fuel that makes sense. Propane, part of JEA today.
And what a season it's been for the Union Lady Bulldogs. Union is set to start the Gulf South Conference tournament tonight. We'll have those games live on E+ TV6. I'm joined by one of the Union Lady Bulldog players, Ms. Kyvan Gooden-Rogers. And Kyvan, first off, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Now, basketball is something that runs in your family. Your dad played for Louisville, your uncle. Some fans may remember Clem Haskins played for the Bulls in the 60s and 70s. So how much of an impact has family had on you, especially as you got started playing the game of basketball?
It's had a huge impact. My mom and my aunts and everybody played, and my cousins. My grandma, who wanted to play, couldn't play because the time she grew up in, there was no women's basketball. My mom played basketball with me while she was playing street ball. So, you know, it's just, it's there. Everywhere you turn, somebody has a basketball somewhere in the house. Like, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, and you fast forward to high school now. I mean, what a high school career you had. I mean, a state championship in Kentucky where there's only one state championship in Kentucky. You were a key part of your high school team that went undefeated. You were one of the top 60 players coming out of high school. So just talk about your high school experience as well as the big schools that were recruiting you.
I have like 4 boxes of letters actually from like schools recruiting me. Like that's a bunch of them, like top schools. But high school, I think it was great because I had, my head coach was also basically my stepdad. And then the assistant coach, Anthony Epps. So it was Trent Milby and Anthony Epps. And Anthony Epps played at the University of Kentucky, and his daughter played with me at the high school. So we kind of had a glimpse of what coaches would expect in college and how things will go forward. And high school, they treat us like college players. Like you know, there was no easy practices. Like you do what you had to do. We learned. We just basically got the basics of basketball then.
So you signed with the University of Kentucky, and you had a bit of rough luck there with injuries and all of that, and especially in your sophomore season. Played in 34 games and 15 games started, but around the SEC tournament, you had a bit of problems.
Yeah, I started having knee problems, and I had mentioned to them that my knee was getting worse, and I don't know what the deal was, but it took like 5 months to get an MRI finally. And that was from me going to my own doctor and then telling them what my doctor said, and then they told me that we can't do anything about it unless our doctors deal with it. So that's the route I went because, you know, we can't afford that kind of stuff. But so that's what we did, and come to find out after surgery, like I had the same exact knee pain that was going on, and the way things were handled, it made me think that maybe I was just being a hypochondriac or something. So I kept trying to push through it. But as time went by, I realized that it was just getting worse, and it was getting frustrating. And my last game, I prayed before, and I was like, God, like, if I need to stay here, let me know. If I don't, like, let me know. And after that game, I just got this feeling that it was time for me to go. And so I walked up the bleachers to my mom, and I was like, Mom, it's time to go. And she's like, all right, let's go. And I'm like, no, I mean, like, I'm done with basketball here. I think it's time for me to go. And so at the time, my mom had just moved to Lexington, so I went to her house and talked to her. And she was like, well, call your dad, and we'll go to Coach's office tomorrow and have a meeting. And that's what we did, and the meeting went okay, and then I get a call back from the coach, and at first I was a little nervous about going about the situation, but I did it anyways, so I went back to the coach's office and talked to him, and it wasn't the same conversation we had before my parents were there. It was different, if that makes sense. And you know, I did my research, and I was like, well, because in the first place, I had committed to Louisville, and I met a woman named Michelle Clarkhurd, and I had a bond with her. So I decided to go to Western the next year and play because I realized I had a bond with somebody. And we did another MRI, and come to find out, my knee surgery was only halfway done.
You just mentioned that you had transferred to Western Kentucky after the knee surgery. So just talk about your experience while you were there at WKU.
It was a good experience. It was a struggle. I ended up going into depression mode because I felt like a failure at first, because I come from a family where what you start is what you finish. And there were people from my board of education who already told Mom that I was not going to finish my freshman year of college as it was. So like I was let inside, like those influenced my thoughts at the time. But when I got to Western, I got depressed. My male coaches didn't really know about it because I like to cover things up sometimes. So, and then sometimes people, I don't know how to say this, like get offended maybe, or I don't know how to say it, but they think because you came from a top-notch school that you're going to be this kind of person that everybody else is, and that was not me. And I feel like there's some people who felt like I was there to take their spot sometimes, but that was never my intentions. My intentions were always to be on a team and to encourage my teammates and play people who I love. And so, I mean, at times I had issues with that, but it was eventually solved. But other than that, it was a great experience because I had great coaching staff, people who cared about my health and not just the game of basketball.
Yeah, and so you come here to Union, and you have 1 year left of eligibility. What brought you back to the game of basketball, as well as what got you out of that depression?
I went home, and I just thought about a lot. And for a while, I worked at a daycare, actually, for like 6 months while I was out of school. And those kids just inspired me more to come play basketball again, honestly. And at that time, Coach Campbell had been calling me since June and like asking me questions, and I was like, dude, no. Like, after this pain I'm going through, I can't. This knee pain is really worse than what y'all think it is. Like, I have a 50-year-old knee at the age of 22. Like, how is that possible? And I kept telling him no, and then he called me one more time, like in November. I was like, I'm coming to visit. Like, it's obviously got to be something special that this man keeps calling me. And to this day, he keeps telling me, I think you're here more than just for basketball. And once I got here, I realized how much of a family it was, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and so talk about this year's team and just how special it's meant to you. Obviously, a real successful season on the court, but off the court, just talk about the team this season.
The team is awesome. Like, we do things together. Like, it's not just basketball related. Like, we all have something in common outside of basketball, you know? So it's always a good thing for stuff like that.
So just overall, looking back from your high school days to now, what has been the biggest thing that you've learned?
The biggest thing that I've learned? I've learned how to trust again, I could say that, I guess. Because after my experience, I've lost all trust for anybody that walked past me. I'll look back and I just didn't trust anybody. And I was raised by a family like, when you care about somebody, you would go the extra mile for them. And I've learned that sometimes that extra mile, you have to realize who you're going extra mile for. Because not everybody has great intentions sometimes. Sometimes they forget the purpose of life.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
I've lived in Jackson for nearly 13 years. As part of the Jackson 24/7 news team, I've learned a lot about how this community works. I've seen how the leaders of the city and the county deal with issues, even when it brings them into conflict. And I enjoy the opportunity to tell the stories that help people at home make better decisions. I love Jackson, and I love being a part of the Jackson 24/7 team.
Alex Northcutt, part of the team you trust, every day on E+ TV6.
Gig, 1,000 megabit speed, now available to any E+ broadband internet customer. This gig-enhanced infrastructure has the capacity to increase speeds in the future. E+ broadband, what many interpreted as JA's entrance into cable television, was actually the foundation of an unparalleled communications infrastructure. Looking out for Jackson's economic and lifestyle future is all a part of JEA today.
Steve Beverly's TV classics can cure what ails you.
I watched and it got rid of my hemorrhoids.
Staying awake at night? Just watch TV classics.
My daughter watched and she went right to sleep.
Do not watch Steve Beverly's TV classics if fights upset your stomach. Do not watch if high drama leads to emotional distress. And do not turn on TV 6 Saturday or Sunday at 7 if hillbillies give you a gallbladder attack.
Ask your doctor if Steve Beverly's Classics is right for you.
Well, after much anticipation, we are finally here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the home of the Union University Lady Bulldogs as we kick off, yes, it's postseason time, the Gulf South Conference postseason tournament. Logan, I know we've waited a long time for this. We've been previewing this moment, and Logan, it feels like Christmas. It's finally here.
Well, Alex, it is the most wonderful time of the year to be a sports fan, and I'm excited for tonight's game.
Yeah, well, before we kick things off, it's been a great week leading up to this. Union closed off their regular season with an 84-72 win at Christian Brothers on the road, taking home the regular season title in the Gulf South Conference. So a lot has been leading up to this game. And also something for the fans, too, is we've got an extra commentator here tonight at the booth.
That's right, the Dr. Dub Oliver bobblehead, the first 500 students got one of these bad boys. And so a great night here at the Fred DeLay Gym. Should be a great crowd on hand. And
it really looks just like him, doesn't it? You know, I think the bow tie is the touch,
yes,
right? The bow tie is the key touch right there. Well, let's talk a little bit of basketball, Logan, as we've got a lot of games going on around the conference, as Union is the 1 seed, Delta State coming in as the 8 seed. But there's still some more games going on. So we take a look at the field. This is a pretty competitive tournament.
Yeah, one of the most competitive conferences in the country, Alex. And you look at North Alabama, the number 2 seed in the tournament, really could make an argument for the 1 seed. They beat Union here at home 78-72. They play West Alabama, a team they beat by, over 30 points their last time out. Yeah. So, just a solid team to be reckoned with. But really, Alex, 1 through 5, 1 through 6, really, all are dangerous teams. West Florida's beaten Union. Valdosta, they're a 3 seed, and they're hitting their stride at the right time. And you can't count out Lee. Whoever wins this game likely will play Lee in the next round. Lee is a team that could surprise the people in this tournament too. So overall, the Gulf South is a loaded conference this year.
Which is exactly what you want. You want competition 1 through 8, and this year we've got it. Well, tonight we've got a great matchup in the Union Lady Bulldogs against the Delta State Lady Statesmen. So let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight, starting with the home team, the Union Lady Bulldogs. Nothing's going to change. It's the same lineup as we usually see, except we've got Kyvan Gooden-Rogers, and just like you saw in that interview, Logan, a special player, and if she hits her stride at the right time in the postseason, this is going to be a dangerous starting 5 for Union.
Yeah, she is, and her last game at Christian Brothers, that was her first game back in 3 games she missed due to a concussion. So she came back strong, played great on the defensive side of the ball. She's not going to wow you with her offensive ability, but on the defensive side of the ball, she is a huge difference maker, one of the top defensive players in the Gulf South Conference.
And Union, led by Coach Mark Campbell, the Gulf South Conference Coach of the Year, which really wasn't a surprise to most people, as he's one of the top in the business. Well, let's take a look at Delta State on the other end, making a quick lineup change. But you take a look, it's going to be the sophomore guard out of Oxford, Mississippi, Aliyah Herod. Then the senior guard, Alexis Ross. Senior guard, Takisha Jordan. You're going to keep an eye out on Jordan. She's a player that provides a lot of speed. She's very physical. She can score the basketball. Here's the change in the lineup as Johnson is out of the lineup, but inserted will be the sophomore center from Pass Christian, Mississippi, Simone Jackson. She's a player that comes in only averaging 5 points and 6 boards a game, but she'll look to come and make an impact down low. And the leading scorer for Coach Roden's club, Alondrea Rush, the junior guard out of Horn Lake, Mississippi, leading the team with 14.9 points a game, and she can score the basketball.
She absolutely can, Alex. One of the most athletic guards in the conference.
Right.
Has experience playing against Union in tournament time. As a freshman, had 7 points and 6 rebounds against Union in the Gulf South Conference Championship game. And Alex, Delta State no stranger to the postseason.
Yeah, they believe we take a look at the records, and they have not missed a postseason tournament since 1984. It's been quite a while. Also, their all-time record in the tournament, 58-14. So they've had not just been to the tournament consecutive years, but they've had some good success. Mind you, they won it not too long ago, Logan.
Right, 2016 here at Union.
Right.
69-63 in overtime. That's the last time these two teams faced off in the postseason. So Union, with revenge on their mind, a lot of these Lady Bulldogs were on that team 2 years ago. Jada Perkins, one of them.
Right.
That Delta State team was led by Chelsea Rhodes a couple of years ago, and they've honestly been down since then. A down year this year, so to speak. Depth has been a problem for the Lady Statesmen, but again, records go out the window when it's postseason time.
That's exactly right. Yes, because you look at this Delta State team, 10-10 in conference play, 12-14 overall. But when you hit the postseason, it doesn't matter if you're the 1 seed, if you're the 8 seed. It's all coming down to one game, and you're really looking. It's a survive and advance mode right now. This could potentially be a winner-go-home situation for either one of these teams. Specifically, look at Delta State. They've got nothing to lose coming into this game. How do you expect the Lady Statesmen on the road in a tough environment against one of the top teams, not only in the conference but in the nation? How do you expect them to come out and start this game?
Well, they have to be intense on both sides of the basketball. Delta State is not necessarily a great offensive team, only averaging about 54 points a game as a team. But the plus side is that they're only allowing 55 a game. They're a grinded-out type team, aggressive on the defensive side of the basketball, and I expect them to employ really the same type of strategies here today. I don't expect them to try to play any different than how they've played all season, but perhaps it's tournament time, so, I mean, players turn up the intensity, knowing that tonight could be their last game. So Delta State, dangerous team with nothing to lose.
Right, and how does Union really use this atmosphere playing at home? How do they use that to their advantage tonight?
Like, they got to feed off the crowd. I mean, again, expecting it to be a great atmosphere here tonight, but Union, they just have to play their game. Team basketball has been the name of their game all season. Max effort on both sides of the basketball. Team basketball. Chelsea Shumpert, in my opinion, and she's got to get going. I mean, I think Delta State probably comes into tonight knowing that Chelsea is probably going to get hers on the offensive side of the board, but it's about stopping the rest of these Lady Bulldogs. Are they going to stop Tiffany Regis? Are they going to stop Sarah Lytle and Bria Gaines down low? That's the big question. Union might have too many weapons for Delta State to match, but that's the big question. Delta State, if they can play well on the defensive side of the ball, they've got a good chance in this game.
Well, real quick before we send it down to Josh, Whaley's winners.
Well, Union, they've got to shoot the ball better. They shot 52% at Christian Brothers, but the downside, 15%, 3 of 20 from 3. Union has been a team a bit inconsistent on the offensive side of the basketball. If Union can connect both offensively and defensively, then this is a dangerous team, not only in the Gulf South Conference tournament, but in the NCAA tournament as well. And for Delta State, Alex, you just have to find a way to match Union on the offensive side of the ball. You got to get stops, you got to force turnovers, and those turnovers have to lead to points on the other end.
Yep, he's the man with all the analysis. He's the man with the numbers. He's Logan Whaley. I'm Alex Northcutt, and our crew from Union University, directed by Paul Schulze and Lawson Mann. At this time, we again welcome you here to postseason basketball here on E+ TV6, and we will take it right down to the desk to our good friend Josh Simmons for the pregame preliminary. Stay with us.
Side of competition, we thank you in advance for your cooperation. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Union University's Fred Lay Gymnasium in David Blackstock Court for tonight's competition between the Delta State University Lady Statesmen and your Union University Lady Bulldogs. This time, if you have not already, will you please stand for an invocation to be brought by Brother Jerry Parker, retired minister here in Jackson, and remain standing for our national anthem by the Bulldog Pep Band.
Let's pray together. Dear Lord, thank you for being our Lord and being our Savior and giving us so many blessings. We look forward to the tournament beginning tonight and ask your blessings to be on each and every young lady that's playing tonight. Please keep them from harm. Help them to do the very best they can tonight, Father. And thank you for bringing Delta State here safely and we pray that they'll go home safely. Thank you for all that you do. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
And now for your starting lineup, first of all, for the visiting Lady Statesman of Delta State out of Cleveland, Mississippi, head coach Craig Root. Starting at guard, 5'2" sophomore out of Oxford, Mississippi, number 3, Aliyah Heather. Starting at guard, 5'7" graduate student out of Charleston, Mississippi, number 4, Alexis Ross. Starting at guard, 5'9" senior out of Decatur, Alabama, number 10, Takisha Jordan. Starting at center, a 6'1" sophomore out of West Christian, Mississippi, number 11, Simone Jackson. Starting at guard, a 5'3" junior from Fort Lake, Mississippi, number 32, Alondrea Rush. And now, for your Union Lady Bulldogs, head coach Mark Campbell, assistant coach Sam. Starting at guard, 5'5" junior from right here. Number 1, Jada Perkins. Starting guard, 5'9" junior out of Portland, Tennessee. Number 21, Tiffany Richards. Starting at 4, 6'1" senior from Campbellsville, Kentucky. Number 22, Kyman Rogers. Starting guard, 5'5" senior out of Paducah, Kentucky. Number 25, Chelsea. And starting at 4, 5'10" senior from Memphis, Tennessee, number 32, Sarah Lionel.
As always, we thank our good friend Josh Simmons for introducing everybody as we get ready to tip things off. Logan, this just feels like a playoff atmosphere.
It does, Alex. I'm excited for this first round, and, well, Alex, you got to hope that the Lady Bulldogs will perhaps host the South Region so we can get more games.
And if that is the case, again, Union needing to win a couple of games in the conference tournament to solidify that. Already in a good position to host the South Regional, but a couple of wins in the conference tournament would not hurt. Again, the winner of this game will move on to the semifinal round of the conference tournament in Birmingham. That will take place this weekend. Again, we thank you for joining us here tonight on ePlusTV6 and ePlusTV6.com, as well as UUathletics.com for Union University Lady Bulldogs basketball. He's Logan Whaley. I'm Alex Northcutt. This is Union basketball. And we are underway as Gooden Rogers wins the tip. This is a tough defensive Delta State team, as we previewed, only allowing 56 points a game. The Union combating that by averaging 80 points a game on the offensive end themselves. Lytle driving, kicking to Perkins. Nice dump down feed to Lytle, and an easy 2 and an early start for Union.
Well, Jada Perkins named to the Gulf South Conference All-Second Team, and showing why they're one of the top passers in conference play.
The ball now with Jordan. She gets an elbow jumper, and it's a pure shot. Takisha Jordan coming into this contest, averaging 14.5 a game. As a quick start from Schumpert, trying to get an early three, unable to get it to fall.
Yeah, Jordan's coming off of a great game, a season-high 29 points against Mississippi College, averaging close to 20 points per game in her last 6. So the Bulldogs have to account for that.
And a quick turnover, and Union will take over. And you take a look just at this lineup, really. And Delta State going with a more of a small lineup themselves. We'll see if Coach Campbell and the Union Lady Bulldogs try to take it down low. Shumpert's going to take the outside jumper. Can't get it to go. Rebound goes to Rush. And she'll wisely pull it back out and set up the offense. Jordan taking it inside. Some contact. And Jackson blows the layup, gets it back, and puts it right in.
Just unfortunate there, Alex. Gooden Rogers was down, and Jackson took advantage. Unfortunate for the Lady Bulldogs.
Trying to force it down low to Lytle. It's tipped away. We've seen Jackson, again, I don't know if you remember this, Logan, but at the very beginning of the season with the conference mashup between the GSC and the SSC, we actually saw Delta State play a few games early on in the season and play pretty well against some talented teams. However, this is a full season has gone by and a brand new Delta State team.
Yeah, I mean, losing a couple players due to injury as well. This is typically a very competitive team.
Right. Really a shock to most people, finishing 8th in the conference. Lytle working, pump fake. Got away with a travel. And here comes Rush for the Lady Statesmen.
Yeah, the Lady Bulldogs have come off flat. They've started off flat here offensively, Alex.
The biggest thing for Coach Campbell's club is to get everyone involved. We saw the loss against West Florida where it was the Chelsea Schumpert show. She put up 42, but the Lady Bulldogs ended up falling by 2 points, 80-78 on the road. 5 on the shot clock. It's going to be Ross, a deep three, well off the mark. And that will expire the shot clock as the ball did not touch the rim. So a good defensive possession right there, Logan, for the Lady Bulldogs.
Yeah, the Lady Bulldogs, a very good defensive team, Alex. That's one of the underrated sides of their game. Very good at rotations, very good at making sure that everyone's accounted for on defense. They don't have a lot of let-ups on the defensive side of the basketball, and a great possession there.
Well, when we talk about the speed, more so on the offensive end, but it also helps on the defensive end as well. Lytle, a nice post move. And she's got 4 total points. A good start by the senior out of Memphis.
And Delta State, Alex, you can tell they're limited on size. I mean, Simone Jackson, one of the tallest players on the team, and actually an interesting decision, getting her first start since all the way back in January. That was a nice shot there by Herod. Raven Johnson had been the starter. A 6'3" freshman center, actually was the reigning freshman of the week after scoring 13 and 16 against Mississippi College.
And we'll see when and if she checks into the game and her impact accordingly as Jordan rejects Perkins right at the rim. Union's going to maintain possession, 22 on the shot clock. Jumper trying to get going offensively, drives, floater just a bit long, and it's tapped out of bounds by Ross. So a fresh 30 for Union.
Yeah, and Schumpert, tough break there. That was a good move. Got her man beat off the dribble, but ultimately could not finish. Schumpert now 0 for 3.
Now we've seen Schumpert have some slow starts to some games, but that's when it's very imperative that we talked about when Coach was explaining getting everybody involved, how you can't just rely on Schumpert to carry the load of the offense at the start of the game. Gooden Rogers coming off a good game, and she continues it. 3-point basket by Kyvan Gooden Rogers, a player that's dealt with injury, and she takes the hit on the offensive end and gets the call.
Yeah, Gooden Rogers, Alex, you're seeing the best side of her right now. This is somebody that hustles on the defensive side of the basketball, and normally a pretty good three-point shooter. Hadn't been all season, but it's a good sign for her to knock down her first shot.
Good word to describe. Kyvan is tough. A very not just physically tough, but a very mentally tough player as well. Perkins long on the jumper, rebound goes to Jordan. And now Delta State trying to use their speed.
And Perkins, Alex, coming off of a great game against Christian Brothers, filling up the stat sheet, had 23 points. Also added, look at it, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals, doing it all for the Lady Bulldogs.
Reach is taking it inside, and she'll lose it. Coach Roden trying to get things slowed down. Now, the girl with the ball right now, Alondrea Rush, leading scorer for the Lady Statesmen. Expect her to get a lot of shot opportunities. She likes to create off the dribble. This matchup with her and Schumpert will be very interesting throughout the rest of the night. Driving inside is Ross, tipped around. Perkins with the steal. And she pushes. She'll pull it back out. Driving in, she'll get the contact. That'll be Takisha Jordan's first foul. And a nice pace early on in this first quarter, Logan.
Yeah, so far, a nice competitive defensive game. Both teams really playing well on the defensive side of the basketball.
Your score early on as we take our first media timeout. It's Union 7, Delta State 6. We'll be right back after a quick 30 seconds here on E+ TV 6.
United. United in academic excellence and research. United in love for Christ and biblical truth. United in service and caring for people. United for you. At Union University, no matter what you study, you are part of a close-knit community dedicated to your success. Union University. United in spirit, grounded in truth.
As you take a look at Coach Campbell, the Coach of the Year in the Gulf South Conference, we welcome you back to the wonderful campus of Union University, and we thank you for tuning in tonight on E+ TV 6 and eplustv6.com. Well, Logan, it's a pretty competitive game, and surprisingly, I'm honestly surprised that a lot of people expect this to be a blowout, as the last time these two teams played, it was a pretty competitive game.
Yeah, a 7-point game. That was all the way back in December 2nd, if you will. 69-62 is the final score, and Delta State is just that team that will not go away.
Right.
I mean, they don't get blown out in a lot of games, and typically, Alex, I mean, they hold teams to under 70 points regardless. So this is a team that, despite their record, Alex, they're in every game.
Yeah. There's a reason why they've made so many consecutive Gulf South Conference tournament appearances, and a reason why they won it 2 years ago. As Perkins knocks down the free throw, she's finally on the scoreboard. And really seeing Jada Perkins throughout this whole season, like she is arguably one of the most valuable players on this team just because of how she impacts a stat sheet just as a collective whole.
And out of this backcourt, everyone sees Chelsea Schumpert and what she's doing this year, leading the nation in scoring and total points, that is. But Jada Perkins, I mean, when Jada Perkins plays well, the entire team plays well.
Yeah. And what a lot of people don't realize, too, is, yes, Shumpert's doing most of the scoring, but who's getting her the ball? Who's grabbing the rebounds? Who's making the extra effort on defense? Who's getting the steals? And that's Perkins in almost every single category.
Yeah,
she almost gets one right there.
And Perkins, Alex, second in the Gulf South Conference in total assists, and second to Ivy Wallen of North Alabama. And to me, that's a crazy stat because Ivy Wallen was out with a torn ACL 19 games into the season.
North Alabama definitely a team to keep an eye out on in this tournament, as they are trailing at home right now 17-13 against West Alabama. That's that 2-7 matchup. Well, after the turnover from Gaines, it's Ross taking it inside against Annalie Little, and she scores. And it's all tied up at 8.
Yeah, Alexis Ross, Alex, she's started most of the season. Toward the later ends of the season, she's been coming off the bench. As a nice job there by Chelsea Schumpert, getting herself into the scorebook. But Alexis Ross could be a difference maker in this game. Had 10 points, 5 rebounds the last time these two teams met. She's that X factor for Delta State.
Yeah. Because similar to Union, for Delta State, all you really see on the stat sheet is Alondrea Rush and Takisha Jordan, as far as scoring. But what you don't see is all these role players stepping up. And tonight for Delta State, they are going to have everyone contribute in order to knock off the Lady Bulldogs tonight.
Yeah, you see Shumpert missing the free throw her last game. Alex has held to only 1 point at the half against Christian Brothers, but responded in the second, scored 17 second half points to finish with 18.
The ball now with Ross again. To Rush. She'll take a long arching three. Off the mark, tipped around, and the rebound goes to Little. Shumpert coming. Transition three. Can't get it to go. Honestly, it's gotten to the point where it's kind of predictable because she's so used to just stepping right into that three-point jump shot. She does it so well. Looking to go inside to Ross again. Battling up against Little down low.
Yeah, and Shumpert struggled from the three in these past couple of games. So 0 of 6 at Christian Brothers, now 0 of 3 here tonight.
On the floor, and they're going to get Anna Lee Little on the foul, coming over the top of Alexis Ross. That'll get called every single time. That's going to be the first team foul, however, on Union. Quick substitutions as the freshman Emily Beard and the senior Anna Lee Little will check out as Regis and Lytle come back in. So the 5 for the Lady Bulldogs: Regis, Gaines, Lytle, Shumpert, and Perkins.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how the duo of Gaines and Lytle work together. It's kind of rare you've seen them on the court at the same time this season.
Well, in my opinion, you're going to have a mismatch somewhere because you've got, right now, Johnson's in the game, so she'll be more than likely matched up with Gaines. But then that provides a little bit of a mismatch down low, as it'll more than likely be Lytle against Ross. We'll see how many touches Lytle gets on the next offensive possession. They get it to Ross. Swings it over to Jordan. 13 on the shot clock. Driving. Contact. Long on the rim. Gaines with the rebound.
Good help defense there by Bria Gaines.
Floater from Perkins is perfect.
These Lady Bulldogs, Alex, are just dangerous in transition. I mean, it's almost guaranteed points every time the Lady Bulldogs run it out.
Largest lead of the game at 4. The low-scoring first quarter. Jordan pull-up jumper. Contested shot, but gets it to go off the glass. And Takisha Jordan already with 4 points of her own. Jumper coming off the screen. Jumper. Yes! Chelsea Shumpert so quick with the jump shot. Now Union applying some pressure, and they're going to get Shumpert on the reach-in foul. That'll be her first, team third. So it's a 4-point lead, 1:18 left to go in the opening period of action. And both these teams really just still feeling each other out early on in this contest. The ball now with Alondrea Rush. So far, Rush scoreless in this opening quarter. 10 on the shot clock. Jordan to Ross. Ross is going to pull up. Well long. Rebound goes to Johnson on the offensive end. She'll kick it back out. Jordan thought about that three. Realized she's only taking 2 this entire season. Wisely pulled it back out.
Yeah, and a great rebound there by Johnson. Got the positioning over Bria Gaines, and that's a big matchup underneath.
Harrod unable to get it to go, but Johnson keeping it alive. Now it's Jordan underneath. Off the glass, got it.
Well, if you allow a team to have 3 offensive rebounds in a possession, I mean, they're going to capitalize on those.
And Gaines smacked right in the face, and they're going to get Johnson on the foul. And Gaines taking it to the floor. More than likely got poked right in the eye. That's something that does not feel good for sure. Good Rogers will check in as Johnson will take a seat as well. Simone Jackson checking back in. But back to that last possession, give credit to the freshman, Raven Johnson, for just keeping that possession alive.
Yeah, and coming off of a 16-rebound game against Mississippi College, 9 of those 16 were offensive rebounds, and you can see why. I mean, 6'3", only a freshman. She's going to be a huge impact player for the Lady Statesmen down the stretch.
Shumpert's going to hold for the last shot. She's got the screen at the top of the key. Harrod's on Shumpert. Goes left off the screen, spins right. Kyvan Gooden-Rogers, top of the key, long. Reaches, throws it up, and is short. And it's a 2-point lead for the Lady Bulldogs in what was a competitive first quarter, to say the least. Well, we will take a break, and myself and Logan will return with some analysis as what you can expect for the upcoming quarter. We'll give you some updates from around the conference as well. Stay with us here on E+ TV 6.
1,000 megabit speed, now available to any E+ broadband internet customer. This gig-enhanced infrastructure has the capacity to increase speeds in the future. E+ broadband, what many interpreted as JA's entrance into cable television, was actually the foundation of an unparalleled communications infrastructure. Looking out for Jackson's economic and lifestyle future is all a part of JEA today.
And we welcome you back here to E+ TV 6 and EPlusTV6.com. Back to Union University. Well, Logan, we take a look at some scores from around the area in the Gulf South Conference tournament. But before that, we'll take it down to our sideline reporter, Daniel Potts. Daniel, as we look at this first quarter, again, very competitive, but it's very defensive-minded. How does Coach Campbell want his offense to, I guess, maybe get a more consistent flow?
Coach was very blunt in that first gathering. He just feels that they're being outworked and out-hustled in that first quarter, and he just challenged them to step it up.
And discipline will definitely be a key in this game, as that's what it's going to come down to is really with a team like this in Delta State, it's going to come down to really who wants it more, because these are both just hard-nosed fighting ball clubs.
Yeah, you look at the rebounding battle as well. Delta State winning that 10-6, 3-2 on the offensive side as well. So right. Union going to have to work a little bit harder on the rebounding battle, crashing the glass a little bit more.
Well, and as we start this second quarter, again, just some scores from around the Gulf South Conference tournament. Lee leading West Georgia at home 61-50 as they begin to start the fourth quarter of action there. A big surprise as the 3-seed Valdosta State Lady Blazers trailing by 15 to West Florida, 55-40 in the fourth quarter. And probably the biggest shock to everybody as Alexis Ross knocks down the jumper. North Alabama, the 2-seed, who you saw beat Union in the Fred DeLay Gymnasium early on in this season. They are now trailing at the end of the first quarter 25-14 to West Alabama. And that just shows you, Logan, that anybody can be beaten on any given night.
Yeah, West Alabama after losing 102-75 in their last game against North Alabama. I mean, that shows you the adjustments right there. And West Florida over Valdosta State is interesting. West Florida seemingly hitting their stride at the right time as well. They beat Union on Senior Day in Pensacola. And Valdosta State also hitting their stride at the right time too. I mean, they beat West Florida in the final regular season game 67-62. So, again, a lot of parity on the lower side of the bracket.
Yeah, both of those teams, specifically, I really was trying, like yourself, pinpointing that matchup because both of those teams very, very good and poised to make a postseason run. Well, Lytle turns the basketball over as it's tied at 14. So bring you back down to the court here at Union. Rush, long three, still can't get it to go. She still has not scored in this game.
Yeah, she hasn't really gotten a lot of touches either, Alex, which has been really surprising.
Perkins, left hand off the glass, too strong, but Lytle's going to be fouled, and she'll go to the charity line.
Yeah, good take there by Jada Perkins. A great job by Lytle. Right place, right time, and she'll be rewarded with 2 free throws.
Sarah Lytle, the senior from Memphis, leading the team with an 86% free throw percentage. She misses the first. Broadcaster's jinx?
Yep.
Yep.
1 for 1.
1 for 1. But, again, not like it, really means everything. But I was a little bit surprised that Sarah Lytle didn't end up on either the first or second team in the Gulf South Conference.
Yeah, she's having a great season, 14 points per game, 5 rebounds, good defensive player. one of the tops in the conference in field goal percentage at 54%.
Yeah.
So it is surprising to me that she didn't make it, but overall this is a loaded Gulf South Conference this season, and especially forward heavy when you look at North Alabama with Brittany Panetti, and you look at Lee with Carrie Cheeks as well. I mean,
Maddie Mitchell.
Maddie Mitchell. I mean, who could forget about Maddie Mitchell as well? Just overall a great year of forwards in the GSC.
It's going to be a foul called, and Union will retain possession. And so we'll get a look at Maddie Shareka, the junior guard from Illinois, transfer from Southwest Illinois College, getting her first action of the game. Only averaging, again, spot minutes and just about a little over 3.5 a game. Points, that is. Excuse me, need to clarify that. Shumpert still trying to get going from outside. Finally gets a long shot to go. And a big sign right there is now Shumpert seeing a three-point basket go through.
Yeah, our first one in a long while, Alex. It's a great sign for the senior.
And Annalie Little going straight up, but she's going to get called with the foul. That's going to send Aliyah Herod to the free throw line. But really before that, the reason she even got that opportunity was, you take a look at how Takisha Jordan just broke that press way too easily. And Herod sinks the first one.
Yeah, now Little with 2 fouls. She'll check out. Gooden Rogers will check in. Tough break, too.
And she was straight up. She did get in the air and jump, however. Probably a good opportunity for a no call, but good job by Herod selling the call. Can't get the second one to go. It's a 3-point lead for Union as we approach the 7.5-minute mark in the second quarter. Trying to get the ball into Lytle, they do. She's working on Jackson. Up and under, off the glass, too good, Sarah Lytle.
Lytle, in my opinion, Alex, is the best finesse post player in the Gulf South Conference.
Steal by Gooden Rogers, reaches, long three, off the mark, but there's Perkins with the offensive rebound. Gooden Rogers, driving, kicking. Reaches will pull up. Rims it right off the glass.
That was good ball movement there by the Lady Bulldogs in that possession, just coming up empty.
Union getting some good looks and creating turnovers. As we take a look at just how many is, I believe that's the 7th turnover for the Lady Statesmen already in the first half. So Jordan will check out of the game. Union will set it up with Perkins. Trying to get it inside to Lytle. Goes right at Jackson, kicks it to Reaches, who drives over to Shumpert. She'll take the three, buries it. Chelsea Shumpert from way outside. And now Union looking to extend this lead. It's an 8-point lead for the Lady Bulldogs.
What a shot by Shumpert. Give her 10 points. She scored 10 or more points in every game this season.
Even though she may start off a little slow, she's always going to find her way in the scoring column. Rush trying to answer. Doesn't get it.
And you can tell Rush is just trying to get going any way she can. She's had a rough day shooting the ball so far.
Shumpert with a heat check and just a bit off. Coach Roden going to slow it down. Rush will set it up. Union working very hard on the defensive end. Rush again, just trying to look to create something. Get it inside to a chaotic paint, and Ross somehow flips it up and in. Reaches wide open in the corner, pumps, drives, wild shot, and a blocking foul on Ross. And that'll send Tiffany Reaches to the line. And that's Alexis Ross' 3rd personal foul, which is a big blow to Coach Roden's squad.
Yeah, Ross has been playing well tonight. I mean, only listed at 5'7". She's played well down under.
She, I believe, she's tied with Jordan for the team high, 6 points. Gaines will check in for Lytle. And so now that'll bring in the freshman Raven Johnson. And so the big matchup right here that we'll keep an eye out on, Bria Gaines and Raven Johnson down low. Johnson already incorporating herself by getting a few offensive rebounds. So Gaines will have a load to deal with down low in the post. Rush with the basketball, gets the screen from Jackson. Pulls up from the wing. Just a bit off to the left, and here comes Shumpert. In transition, driving, off the glass, can't get it to go. Swings it out to Reaches. Hesitates, but she'll take it. And now wide open is Jordan, and she'll take the easy deuce.
Well, good job by the Lady Statesman defense there. Goaded Reaches into taking the long three.
Yeah.
Somebody hurt. 21's hurt. 21 is hurt.
And we're going to have a stoppage in play as Tiffany Reaches apparently dealing with a slight injury. She'll be subbed out of the game. We'll also take a media timeout as well. So just as Union pulled ahead by 8, Delta State cut it within 4. We've got an exciting one here in the first round of the Gulf South Conference Tournament here on E+TV6. We'll be right back here shortly.
On Jackson 24/7, we often focus on women who have been a success in business or education. People like Shirley Jones, who's given 25 years of her life to public service. Mandy White, a leader in economic development in Jackson and in the entire state. Gwen Gavin, who's an example for minority women in business. And our own Dr. Joanne Stevenson, an advocate for the family in the Hub City. These women are role models for all of us, and I enjoy telling their stories on Jackson 24/7.
Mary Barnes, part of the team you trust on TV6.
And we welcome you back here on E+TV6, E+TV6.com, and UUathletics.com as we bring you round 1 of Gulf South Conference Tournament action. The Union Lady Bulldogs against the Delta State Lady Statesmen. Union leading by 4 early on in this contest, which it's really been a back and forth game. Logan, you mentioned Delta State, a team that doesn't go away.
Yeah, and you see it there, hitting a couple of huge stops and forcing Union into taking some bad shots, and they capitalize on the offensive end. And as we previewed, Delta State, not exactly a great offensive team, but they've capitalized on good defensive stops on the other end.
Shumpert pulling a lot of quick shots early on. So far, she's only hit 2 from outside. 2 of 7 from long range. Union, 3 of 12 as a team. And something in which they really pride themselves in is their outside shooting. Steal by Avery Carpenter. Shumpert in transition. Out to Perkins. Get it inside to Bria Gaines. Nice post move by Gaines. And she gets on the scoreboard for the first time this evening.
Yeah, tough shot there by Gaines, too, falling away from the basket. Good defense there by Johnson, but nothing he could do there.
Both players getting physical down low. Jordan now with the basketball. She's got 6. They get it inside to Johnson. And it's tipped away by Perkins. She comes up with the steal. 1-on-1 with Jordan. Bucket's good. Count the foul. And Perkins going to the line.
That could be attributed to great post defense and help defense by Bria Gaines and Chelsea Shumpert, forcing the bad pass. Jada Perkins doing what she does best, getting the steal, second in the conference in total steals, going coast to coast. Too easy for Jada Perkins.
Well, the big theme right there is just simply defense. Union playing a very good defensive game in this first half. Now Perkins converts the three-point play the hard way. .320 left to go in this first half. It's now a 9-point lead, the largest of the game for the Lady Bulldogs. They try to get it inside to Johnson, but it's thrown off the rim. I guess we'll count that as a missed shot, maybe?
Probably a turnover. I mean, that was one of the weirder plays I've seen all season.
Perkins to set it up. She's working on Shareka. They get it to Carpenter. Inside to Gaines. Spinning. Hook shot over Johnson, and she's too good down low, ladies and gentlemen. Bria Gaines really hitting her stride at the end of the season, playing some great basketball for Coach Campbell.
Just a strong move underneath. Bria Gaines now 2 of 2, playing great so far.
Union now up by double figures. They get it to Rush, who's been slow. Trying to create for herself, calling for a screen. She'll get the flare screen on the left wing. 5 on the shot clock. Get it inside to Johnson, tipped away. Saved by Perkins and stolen away by Gaines. Here comes Perkins in transition. Gets it to Carpenter. Thought about it, she'll drive. Well off the glass. And an over-the-back call on Bria Gaines. But despite that, Logan, Union running Delta State all the way down to the end of the shot clock, forcing a turnover. It just does not get better than that defensively.
Oh, it doesn't. That was one of the better defensive possession by the Lady Bulldogs all night.
10 turnovers now for Delta State. They get it to Herod, trying to get it inside. And this time they do get Carpenter with the foul, as there was some contact down low. But you'll live with that, as that's Carpenter's first foul, team 3rd of the second quarter. Union really playing, I would say, honestly, a little bit more aggressive than they usually do, maybe due to the complementary style of Delta State.
Yeah, I think, you kind of play to the level of your opponent. And with Delta State, very aggressive defensive team, Union, in turn, playing aggressive on the defensive side of the ball, too.
Perkins with another steal, gets it to Shumpert. Driving, floater, and it'll drop it. Beautiful move, great possession. Started with the steal, get it to your best player, and she'll do the rest.
And Shumpert, a great job there with the fake, getting her defender on her heels, driving right by her, and the floater was pure.
Largest lead of the night. They keep climbing. It's a 13-point lead, 32-19. We're just 1 minute 26 left to go. We'll be right back after a quick 30 right after this.
Community leaders are talking about Steve Beverly's TV classics, but are they serious? Do they like classic TV? Do they really watch?
That's a lot of questions in one sentence, Steve.
What do they think about the host?
I don't have any clear answers to that.
What usually happens if you watch TV classics?
A very entertaining evening for people.
Watch TV Classics Saturday and Sunday at 7 on TV6.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Take a look at the 5 on the floor for Union right there. Shumpert, Beard, Lytle, Perkins, and Gooden Rogers. And Logan coming out of the timeout. A huge upset as West Florida knocks off Valdosta State on the road, 68-49, led by 21 points from Haley Neiman.
Yeah, West Florida, Alex, a great team this year. 6th seed, probably, honestly, if you're looking at over the course of the entire season, they're way better than what their record shows.
Right.
They're way better than a 6th seed. And sure enough, West Florida capable of beating any team on any given night. They do it tonight.
And so they will advance to play Saturday in Birmingham. As Shareka no good from outside. Union's going to set it up. 45 seconds left to go. 16 on the shot clock. Lytle's going to take a long jumper, gets it to go with the contact. No call. They're going to count that a 2-point basket, saying her foot was on the line. But dialing it up from deep, Sarah Lytle. It's 34-19.
And Lytle coming off of a great game at Christian Brothers, 22 points, continuing here tonight.
Alondrea Rush waited till really the last second to get a bucket in this first half. She cuts it back within 12. Union to hold for the last shot. 7 on the clock. Perkins to Shumpert from way outside. And it's long, and they're going to get a foul. Great hustle from Lytle, just keeping the play alive. And really just making something out of nothing, and she'll head to the free throw line.
Yeah, tough shot there by Shumpert, but again, Lytle, right place, right time, getting the offensive rebound, going up quickly, good awareness, and drawing the foul.
So far, Lytle, 1 of 3 from the charity stripe. Shooting 50% now. It's a 13-point lead, and that's how it will end, as Delta State will just inbound the basketball. And I don't think that shot's going to count anyway. 0.4 seconds runs off the clock. Well, a slow start for both teams, but Union used their defense to create offense and create turnovers, force Delta State to uncomfortable shots, and that's what's really contributed to this 13-point lead, Logan.
Yeah, and the Lady Bulldogs have honestly shot the ball cold from outside, much like we saw last game at Christian Brothers. 3 of 13, but again, great defense by the Lady Bulldogs, forcing 11 turnovers. And honestly, Alex, 22 points at the half. You can't complain about that from a defensive side of things. Great defensive effort from the Lady Bulldogs. Well, a lot to look forward to as we are going to take a quick break in the action. We'll come back with some more at the half stats. But right now, Logan, you had another quick conversation with a good friend who used to sit right where we were sitting. Absolutely right, Alex. Philip Tang, the voice of the Delta State Statesman and Lady Statesman. Great interview I had with him there, Alex.
Well, we'll take a listen to that right now. So we'll take a quick break in our action. We'll go to the interview with Philip Tang, take another quick commercial break, and then we'll come right back to the floor as we get you ready for the second half of Union and Delta State here on E+ TV 6. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen.
Here's an energy-saving tip for the kitchen. Only run the dishwasher when you have a full load of dishes, and let the dishes air dry. This will save hot water and electricity.
Keep the filters in your home clean. Your furnace filter should be cleaned or replaced monthly. The dryer filter should be cleaned before each use. A clean filter means better airflow, and that keeps the unit running properly.
I love sports. It's honestly just a natural part of my life. Jackson is the kind of city where sports is a part of who we are. High school football is the king of Friday nights every fall. The Jackson Generals add to the quality of life of our community. And we have a perennial contender in women's college basketball. Sports is the ultimate live theater, and I'm glad it's a part of Jackson 24/7.
Logan Whaley, part of the team you trust every day on E+ TV 6.
Listen to me. I have 30 seconds.
What did you know about me?
About being a kid with a disability.
I am a joker.
I am a songwriter. And I'm here to learn. I am a girl who likes math and science. I am Coach B. Random tutorial.
Hey, I'm speaking up.
And I am not.
And I am not.
And I am not going to be bullied. Got it?
So I've been part of the Jackson 24/7 news team. I've enjoyed covering the weather. We have every kind of weather conditions in West Tennessee. When snow comes, we have to be ready to tell you how it will affect us. When severe weather strikes, it could be a matter of life or death. But we also have our share of sunny days that bring out the best in the people of West Tennessee. Everybody needs to know what the weather is going to be. That's why I'm part of the Jackson 24/7 news team.
Miles Randall, part of the team you trust on TV 6. Steve Beverly's TV Classics can cure what ails you.
I watched and it got rid of my hemorrhoids.
Staying awake at night? Just watch TV Classics.
My daughter watched, and she went right to sleep.
Do not watch Steve Beverly's TV Classics if bites upset your stomach. Do not watch if high drama leads to emotional distress. And do not turn on TV 6 Saturday or Sunday at 7 if hillbillies give you a gallbladder attack.
Ask your doctor if Steve Beverly's Classics is right for you.
Here's an energy-saving tip for the kitchen. Only run the dishwasher when you have a full load of dishes, and let the dishes air dry. This will save hot water and electricity.
Keep the filters in your home clean. Your furnace filter should be cleaned or replaced monthly. The dryer filter should be cleaned before each use. A clean filter means better airflow, and that keeps the unit running properly.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, These doors transform. They did for us. Support your local boys and girls clubs. Great future.
United. United in academic excellence and research. United in love for Christ and biblical truth. United in service and caring for people. United for you. At Union University, no matter what you study, you are part of a close-knit community dedicated to your success. Union University. United in spirit, grounded in truth.
If you watch Steve Beverly's TV classics, you may get a snack.
What do you say we toast some marshmallows, huh?
It's with your host,
Big Steve.
Some people watch even if they don't like the host.
Big Steve notwithstanding.
What do smart viewers think?
Oh, Mr. B, you're just a doozy.
Steve Beverly's TV classics, Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 10 on TV6.
Want to make your life a little easier? Now you can manage your Jackson Energy Authority account online. View statements, pay your bill, set up reminders, or recurring payments. Spend more time with your family, not your bills. It's easy. Just visit www.jaxenergy.com anytime and sign up. Make your life a little easier with online bill pay from Jackson Energy Authority.
Logan Whaley back here on E+ TV6, halftime between the Lady Bulldogs and the Lady Statesmen, joined now by the voice of Delta State, Philip Tang. And Philip, familiar face, a graduate of Union University. So first off, obviously a conflict, so to speak, being a graduate of Union and Delta State. So what is it like coming back here to the Fred DeLay Gym?
Always fun getting to see people you don't see but maybe once or twice a year. I hate coming here to play because I hate playing against my alma mater. I cheer for them when we're not playing them, but tonight we got to cheer for the Lady Statesmen. Now
the Lady Statesmen have had a bit of an up and down season these past couple of years, but historically a great program. So just recap the past couple of years for Delta State.
Yeah, it just, well, last year was a rebuilding year because we graduated 4 really, really good seniors, and this year's been an injury-plagued season. We had one girl that her grandfather died, so she couldn't play the entire season. She went and spent time at home. Then another girl tore ACL the first game of the year on this floor, actually, and then we had another girl break her foot early on. Now we're down another girl. So it's just been an injury-plagued season. We've also been a season where we've been so close in about 4 or 5 games and just ended up missing it by seconds. You know how sometimes losses happen? We've had so many of those this year. So it's been one of those battle-fought seasons, and we've come out in the bottom half more often than the top half in losses.
Yeah, and some of your star players, Takisha Jordan, Alondrea Rush, experienced players for Delta State. Just talk about their season and what they've meant to this program.
Well, Takisha, Kiki as we call her, as she came in, it's her one-and-done season. She's a senior here, and she's been a spark on the offense. You've seen her drive here tonight already, just how she can take it to the hoop almost on any play with a good crossover. And she's got a great mid-range jumper. And then Alondrea was a freshman, one of the freshmen of the year in the tournament her freshman year 2 years ago. Such a good ball handler and got a great jump shot. She struggled at points this year because the pressure's on her, but she's also overcome it a lot.
Now at Delta State, of course, basketball season about to end. You're going to head into baseball. Just talk about the day-to-day grind of being a broadcaster.
Oh yeah, it's not just for me. It's not just broadcasting. It's also doing videos and editing audio because I'm the multimedia guy. So every little piece of video that comes out, I help oversee or edit and produce. So it's every day. We've had a swim tournament last week, and we were at the pool 8 hours a day for 4 days. We're getting video and broadcasting and everything. So it's not just the big sports. We also have a great swim program, so we got to cover all those as well.
Wow, and then so you have baseball coming up soon, and you've got just all of these other sports. So how do you stay motivated to continue being a broadcaster and continue to do it well? You gotta love the sports, and the great thing about athletics in college is one season ends, the next one's just beginning. So when our football team finishes its run in the playoffs, basketball season's right here. And now basketball season's ending, and we're already 3 weeks into baseball and softball, and we're ready to go once again. You get those 2 months in June and July where nothing happens, and then from August to May, you keep going, and you just look forward to the next sport. Absolutely. Now, when you look over your career so far, what has been the biggest thing that you've learned, and especially for any young broadcasters who may be watching at home, what would be the advice that you would give them? Just prepare and have fun. Definitely one of those things where you can't if you over-prepare, it's better than under-preparing. That way you're not trying to find some piece of note here and there and you can't find it. Over-have it, highlight it, make it ready to go. That way if you don't use it, you can have it for the next time.
Absolutely. Well, Philip, that's unfortunately all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, well, it's halftime here at the Fred DeLay Gym. Alex and I will have the analysis and the second half live here on E+ TV6. Don't go anywhere.
Want to make your life a little easier? Now you can manage your Jackson Energy Authority account online. View statements, pay your bill, set up reminders, or recurring payments. Spend more time with your family, not your bills. It's easy. Just visit www.jaxenergy.com anytime and sign up. Make your life a little easier with online bill pay from Jackson Energy Authority.
On Jackson 24/7, we often focus on women who have been a success in business or education. People like Shirley Jones, who's given 25 years of her life to public service. Mandy White, a leader in economic development in Jackson and in the entire state. Gwen Gavin, who's an example for minority women in business. And our own Dr. Joanne Stevenson, an advocate for the family in the Hub City. These women are role models for all of us, and I enjoy telling their stories on Jackson 24/7.
Mary Barnes, part of the team you trust on TV6.
United. United in academic excellence and research. United in love for Christ and biblical truth. United in service and caring for people. United for you. At Union University, no matter what you study, you are part of a close-knit community dedicated to your success. Union University. United in spirit. Grounded in truth.
If you watch Steve Beverly's TV classics, you may get a snack.
What do you say we toast some marshmallows, huh?
It's with your host,
Big Steve.
Some people watch even if they don't like the host.
Big Steve notwithstanding.
What do smart viewers think?
Oh, Mr. B, you're just a doozy.
Steve Beverly's TV Classics, Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 10 on TV6.
Well, thanks for joining us here tonight on E+ TV6. I'm Alex Northcutt. He's Logan Whaley and the crew from Union University, led by Paul Scholze and Lawson Mann. Thank you for joining us here for Union University basketball in the first round of the Gulf South Tournament. Well, Logan, we had an exciting first half, a little bit of a slow start, but it got more competitive. Really, all credit to Union's defense for the 13-point lead that they have right near.
Yeah, holding Delta State 22 points. I mean, I don't care who you are. Anytime you hold a team to 22 points, that's a good defensive half. And with Union forcing 11 turnovers on Delta State, that's huge, leading to 18 points off of turnovers. And the points in the paint, too, Alex, 18-8 points in the paint going in Union's favor. And Union definitely with a size advantage down low. They've exploited that here tonight. So overall, a good first half by Union. Delta State hanging in there, 13 points, definitely a manageable margin for sure. So I expect this to be an exciting defensive second half.
Right, and let's take a look at those halftime stats that we have right here. We'll flash those up real quick. Biggest thing right now, Logan, is both teams really not shooting the ball well from outside, but Union's still able to get it going as far as you see that bottom stat right there, points off turnovers, 16-2. So they're creating turnovers and they're converting on the other end.
Yeah, and, you know, rebounding battles close, free throws. Union shot 10 free throws, compare that to 2 for Delta State. Delta State 1 of 7 from 3, Union 3 of 13. But, yeah, points off turnover. That's probably the biggest stat of the day so far. Union taking advantage of what Delta State has been giving them. And Jada Perkins has played extremely well, already has 4 steals on the night. She's been active on the defensive end of the ball, as she has been all year. And Union, when they're in transition, they are a very dangerous team.
Right. Now, those are the stats. Those are the numbers from the first half. Union up by 13 in this game, 35-22. Want to let you know some scores from around the area as Lee knocked off West Georgia with a final score of 88-78. So as you pointed out, if, again, hypothetically, whoever wins this game will go on to face Lee. Right now, Union sitting in the driver's seat right now, in control of their destiny. So that is a potential matchup, which we've seen several times throughout the year. A very, very good team in Lee and in Union. They present a great game as well. Again, I want to remind you that big upset. West Florida, not just squeezing by Valdosta State, but winning by almost 20 points, 68-49. Three Lady Argonauts in the double-digit scoring column, excuse me, and just really just a dominant performance, knocking off again a very talented Valdosta State team. And the score we're going to be keeping up with as we continue this game. You got West Alabama leading North Alabama on the road, 39-32. Emma Wallen with 12 leading the scores for the Lady Lions, but that has a potential to be a huge upset in the Gulf South Conference. And again, we remind you that tonight's game, the winner of this game will move on to play Lee. Just kind of looking at how things are now shifting up in the conference right now. We've already got a 6 seed that's advanced. We got the 4 seed in Lee that's already advanced as well. Just a lot of scenarios that could happen, but you know just as well as anybody, it's just about getting hot at the right time in these tournaments. Yeah, it's about clicking at the right time. You said it. And it's funny because Valdosta State certainly looked like a team that had clicked at the right time. I mean, moved up to the 3 seed, finished 15-5, and Valdosta, they are the reigning Gulf South Conference champions. So either way, we're going to have a new Gulf South Conference champion this year. Yep. West Florida, too. I mean, West Florida is a team that lost in their last game to West Florida, last game of the regular season, but hey, tournament time's when it matters. Yeah. So overall, Alex, a lot of parity here in the Gulf South Conference. Well, and real quick, as we'll take a break in the action from the women's action, we'll take a look at the men's tournament. Again, a talented field as well. Valdosta State, we were talking with Philip Tang earlier, the front runner in that conference. But just kind of looking ahead at the men's contest, Union unfortunately not making the tournament, but with the removal of West Alabama, a lot of interesting things could happen on the men's side of the bracket as well. Yeah, and I mean Christian Brothers. I look at them and say there's too much talent on that team for them not to make it far in the tournament. And Adam Dieball, Joe Larrabee, Jeff Larkin, of course. Right. Just a really great conference in general. West Florida, Valdosta State, a great game last week. And honestly, Alex, I wouldn't be upset if I got another matchup between Valdosta and West Florida for the Gulf South Conference Championship. Well, I'll go ahead and go with this. Who are you going as the champion? I think Valdosta gets their revenge. Valdosta State, again, the #1 seed in the men's side of the bracket. We'll keep you updated with that tournament as it moves along, as well as the women's tournament. We welcome you back here to E+ TV6 as Sarah Lytle picking up right where she left off. She's got 12 total points in the game, and it's back up to a 15-point lead starting off this second half. So the 5 on the floor for Union right now, it's Schumpert, Lytle, Gooden Rogers, Perkins, and the freshman Emily Beard. And for Delta State, it's Jordan, Ross, Herod, Jackson, and Rush. And this is big minutes for the freshman Emily Beard. We saw Tiffany Reaches a little bit banged up, so hope that she's okay, but big minutes for Emily Beard, and we saw a great performance by her. One of the last regular season games of the season. Set a career-high 24 points and 7 threes against West Alabama. Gooden Rogers from the wing, well off the mark. Rebound goes to Jordan. But you look at players, both Gooden Rogers and Beard, players that can have that impact as a role player. You mentioned Emily Beard coming off a fantastic game against West Alabama in our last telecast, so you know she has the ability to stroke it from deep. Right on cue, she grabs the rebound as Jordan unable to get it to go from outside. Rush tips that out of bounds. Union will retain possession. Biggest things for Union on the offensive end, what do you see Coach Campbell trying to implement in the second half? I think he needs to continue to let the offense flow from the post. Sarah Lytle has played extremely well so far tonight, and it opens up the outside game because you have to respect her down low. 10 on the shot clock. It's with Schumpert. She's going to work off the ball screen. Stutter step, drives, contact, and they're going to call it on the floor, question mark, count the basket. There it is. You know, usually officials, get a little more excited with the and-one call, but this one not so much. Yeah, a bit of a lethargic count the basket. Was anticlimactic. I was expecting something. I think that's why I got confused, honestly. And there could have been an argument either way. It could have been on the floor. Because I know in the NBA they definitely would have counted it. Well, this is really just one step down from the NBA, if not right at it. Continuation might as well be a thing. Because, NBA, Division II women's college basketball.
Same thing.
Practically hand in hand. And some contact down low, a hard foul by Gooden Rogers. It's going to send Takisha Jordan to the line, where she is only a 65% free throw shooter on the year. So far in this game, she's got 8 points, leading all scores for the Lady Statesmen.
Well, Kyvan Gooden Rogers, if you're going to foul him, make it count. That was one of the harder fouls I've seen.
Surprised Jordan got up so fast, honestly. Well, KGR is going to take a seat as Anna Lee Little will check into the game. Little with 2 fouls in that first half. She'll have to play a little careful. My opinion for Coach Roden, you really need Takisha Jordan to try to create more on the offensive end. I think that's what's going to work for them, because she's got the ability to drive, kick, but also she's got a nice pull-up jumper. Perkins off the mark. Here comes Alondrea Rush. Quiet first half, only with 3. And a quick whistle as Perkins will pick up her second foul. Union still rolling ahead by 14 in this game. Almost stolen away. They get it to Jordan. Looking inside, Jackson looking to post, doesn't get the ball. Rush trying to create. Jordan calls for the ball screen. Driving on Shumpert. Up on Lytle, offensive foul. Sarah Lytle steps in and takes the hit, and it's going the other way.
I thought Lytle might have gotten there too late, but the way a good take by the senior. And again, defense, Alex. Defense paying dividends for the Lady Bulldogs here tonight.
That's 2 charges called on Delta State in this game. And really, the way I've always been told, you step in and take a charge, it's the equivalent of causing a turnover. Little looking inside to Lytle. Lytle, mismatch against Ross. Out to Perkins. She's going to drive. Off the glass with the left hand. A little too much English. But an offensive rebound from Anna Lee Little keeps the possession alive.
After a tough rebounding first quarter, Alex, the Lady Bulldogs have done a much better job on the offensive boards.
Beard's first shot of the evening, no good. Really, on the offensive end, they were just begging Jada Perkins to take an outside shot. Get it to Rush. She'll pull just a bit off the mark. As Shumpert really kind of daring her to shoot as well. We'll set up the offense, Little at the top, looking inside to Lytle, had the lane. Hesitates, off the glass, and it's just way too easy. And specifically knowing that Alexis Ross playing with 3 fouls.
Yeah, and I think Lytle, every time she touches the ball, needs to go to the basket. She looked a little passive in the possession before that. Needs to be aggressive, attack the basket, knowing that Ross has 3 fouls.
You get it to Harrod in the corner. She's going to drive. Flips it up, and they're going to get Beard on the foul. Something that I've also, I guess, just didn't see initially, but Takisha Jordan, after that offensive foul called on her, she has 4 fouls. So the Lady Statesmen in some foul trouble as we start this second half.
For a team with not a lot of depth, I mean, this is a Delta State team that they don't need to get into foul trouble.
Baird can't convert. Jackson will come out of the game. Raven Johnson, 6'3" freshman, will check in. And for Union, Reaches and Gaines checking into the ball game for Beard and Lytle. Right now it's a 16-point lead for Union. Media timeout coming up here in a few short moments. Harrod gets it to go as she's got 4. So really your leading scorers for Delta State, Alexis Ross and Takisha Jordan, both with 3+ fouls. Perkins too easy off the glass. And you can really tell, Logan, that both Jordan and Ross are trying to play careful. Union doing a good job of driving right at them.
Yeah, and Union, Alex, all night, they've really had their way driving to the basket, whether it's with their post players or off the dribble, they've had their way.
Jordan coming off the screen, a beautiful jumper right at the free throw line. She's got 8. Wide open down low to Bria Gaines. Great job running the floor, and a great find by the Lady Bulldogs.
I don't know how Bria Gaines ends up that wide open. That's it's pretty much as easy as it can get right there.
The ball with Rush coming off the screen. She'll pull up with some contact, and Perkins will pick up the foul. But yeah, talking about how, you know, Delta State combats the speed. They have enough speed, and, you know, really odd to see them not getting back in transition on the defensive side of the ball. Well, we'll come back as Rush will shoot a pair of free throws from the charity stripe. It's a 45-28 lead here at the Fred. And we'll be right back here in a few short moments on E+ TV 6.
Gig, 1,000 megabit speed, now available to any E+ broadband internet customer. This gig-enhanced infrastructure has the capacity to increase speeds in the future. E+ broadband, what many interpreted as JA's entrance into cable television, was actually the foundation of an unparalleled communications infrastructure. Looking out for Jackson's economic and lifestyle future is all a part of JEA today.
We welcome you back. It's a 45-28 lead for the Union Lady Bulldogs in the first round of the Gulf South Conference Tournament. And Coach Campbell still always demanding more out of his players. Well, a quick update from another game as North Alabama cutting into the West Alabama lead, as it's still West Alabama leading North Alabama 41-38 with 8:15 left to go in the third quarter. We will keep you updated. But right now, Daniel Potts, our sideline reporter, give us a little hint at what Coach Campbell was demanding out of his team as we start this second half.
He was very aggressive in that timeout, reminding them that they are college basketball players. He wanted them to pay attention to the scouting report and execute what they had called. He said that it was honestly absolute insanity was the word he used at the way they're playing right now. So expect a step up in effort.
We thank you, Daniel, for that report. Honestly, Logan, it's the first time I've heard that it's actually gotten to insanity here at Union.
Wow.
Still up 15, and it's insane.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
I mean,
it's bonkers.
Hey, I mean, you know,
You
Coach
never
Campbell,
know what to expect.
I mean, Coach Campbell expects perfection. And, I mean, hey, I said at the half that Coach Campbell probably would be pleased with holding Delta State 22 points at half, but that's Coach Campbell, always wanting more from his players.
Well, you see a guy that's also sees the potential in this Lady Bulldogs team and really how far they could potentially go this season. If they hit their stride, again, we've yet to see them play really this excellent game of basketball just yet. We've seen them play good, we've seen them play great, but to the point where they're executing on every single possession, according to Coach Campbell's standards, we haven't seen them play, you know, right at their peak. But when they get there, and if they get there, they've got a lot more basketball left this season. Yeah,
if Union can play 4 complete quarters, then they are an extremely dangerous team. And even right now, they are an extremely dangerous team. But, yeah, you're right, Alex. I mean, this is a team that, yes, they've gotten better as the season has gone on, but they haven't really hit their stride. But now is the time, Alex. Now is the time when you want to play your best basketball.
Well, Alondrea Rush is going to take free throws after just coming from the line.
And a good sign for the Lady Bulldogs as Tiffany Reaches is back in the game. Good to see she's okay.
So it's Reaches, Gaines, Lytle, Perkins, and Beard. Rush perfect at the line this evening. Now making it 4 of 4. She's an 82% free throw shooter. She averages 15 a game. Tonight she only has 7. A player that Coach Roden usually relies on to get things going offensively. And tonight, credit Union's defense for forcing her into uncomfortable positions.
Good defense there by the Lady Statesmen. They tried to get Shumpert off the backdoor cut.
Shumpert driving. Nowhere to go. Backdoor pass. Nice pass by Perkins into Gaines. And beautiful ball movement right there from the Lady Bulldogs. It doesn't get better than that.
Oh, it absolutely does not get better than that. Great ball movement. Beautiful find by Jada Perkins.
Perkins, step back. Excuse me, not Perkins. Rush, step back jumper. Off the mark, here comes Beard. Gets it to Shumpert in transition. Pull-up jumper, well off. And I believe they're going to get Johnson, which, if I'm correct, will be her third personal foul. So third personal as Gaines hits the deck.
Good defense there by the Lady Statesman, staying with Shumpert on that jump shot. That's one of her favorite spots, the right elbow, loves to pull up from there. Lady Statesman realizing that, able to stay with her.
Well, Shumpert's still tied with Lytle leading all scorers with 14, but it hasn't been an easy 14. Gaines just a bit too much as Lytle's going to get called for the over-the-back foul on Jordan. Gaines just left it too strong off the rim, but it's still a good post move. Both Gaines and Johnson complement each other very well down low. It's going to be the 5th team foul, and that's going to send Takisha Jordan to the line. So far on the evening, she has gone, will now make it 2 of 3. This is really a pretty even third quarter. Scoring column, it's been 12-11 in favor of the Lady Bulldogs. It was that second quarter that really put Delta State behind, being outscored 21-10. But expect the Lady Statesmen to make a run here shortly, and it's going to start on the defensive end. Union has to be very crisp with ball movement, setting good solid screens, and getting good looks. Shumpert spinning, left it short.
Yeah, and when Union is in need of a bucket, they go to Chelsea Shumpert, and Shumpert unable to connect there.
Wild shot, late whistle. And they're going to get Emily Beard on the foul. And so a bit of a late whistle right there, as the play had already transpired before really anything happened.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, granted, there was contact, but I don't know if he was just slow to get his whistle up to his mouth.
I don't know if there was enough there to warrant a foul call, but either way, Rush going to the line to shoot one more.
And Union really has to be careful, too. And just kind of judging by the way the officials have been calling this game, Rush is a player that she's going to drive hard, but also very out of control into the lane. And with those pair of free throws, she cuts the Union lead down to 11. Delta State still in this ball game. We've still got plenty of time left to go in this contest. It's an 11-point Union Lady Bulldog lead here on E+ TV6.
Community leaders are talking about Steve Beverly's TV classics, but are they serious? Do they like classic TV? Do they really watch?
That's a lot of questions in one sentence, Steve.
What do they think about the host?
I don't have any clear answers to that.
What usually happens if you watch TV classics?
A very entertaining evening for people.
Watch TV Classics Saturday and Sunday at 7 on TV6.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We welcome you back here to the Fred DeLay Gymnasium here in Jackson, Tennessee. A quick Gulf South Conference tournament update. North Alabama in Florence on their home court has cut the lead now down to 1. It's a 46-45 lead for West Alabama over North Alabama. We will keep you updated as that game continues. But right now, we talked about Delta State trying to push back, trying to make a run. Is this the time, coming out of this timeout, that they look to cut this thing within single digits?
Yeah, they have to. And, again, good defense being played right now by the Lady Statesmen. That's been their style. A grinded-out type team. And they're grinding it out right now with Union and forcing the Lady Bulldogs into some frustration fouls. They've scored 8 straight points from the foul line.
And credit Alondrea Rush, now with 9 in the game. Not only getting to the free throw line, but converting. Lytle tipped around, somehow got it to go. And a great persistent play from Lytle. And she leads all scorers with 16.
Well, sometimes you just got to throw it up and see what happens, Alex. Union struggling a bit offensively. Sarah Lytle's played great tonight, and, well, sometimes basketball rewards those types of play.
Hey, when it's your night, as Simone Jackson answers on the other end. It's now 49-38. Again, Delta State clearly not really as talented as Union, undersized, but they come to play night in, night out. And a great defensive block right there from Jackson. Probably one of the hardest working teams in the conference. Jordan draws contact. Beard's going to pick up her third. And now the Lady Statesmen looking to cut this thing within single digits. As Jordan goes to the line, she's been 75% on the evening.
Emily Beard having a rough night defensively, Alex. Normally one of the better defensive guards off the bench for the Lady Bulldogs, but now has 3 fouls and honestly getting beat off the dribble.
Little and Beard going to take a seat. Reaches Gooden Rogers checking in. Something that's also surprising too, Union in the free throw column. Delta State shooting 80%, Union only shooting 36. Which is something we have not seen for hardly ever this season from the Lady Bulldogs. As Jordan misses, but Jackson's going to get called for the foul.
Yeah, Union, Alex, the second best team in the conference when it comes to free throw percentage.
Not looking like that tonight. Reminder that the winner of this game will move on to face Lee in Birmingham this coming weekend. Loose ball. And it's going to go back court as I believe trying to come off the screen and went off Gaines' foot. So a turnover right there for Union. On the game, it's only their 4th total.
Delta State on an 11-4 run and really forcing Union to play out of their game, so to speak.
Nice hustle play right there from Gooden Rogers. She forces the jump ball. Possession will stay with the Lady Statesmen. 1:13 left to go in this quarter. It's a 10-point Union lead, which is shaping up to be one great 4th quarter of action, which you know Delta State, as if you didn't think they could, but they're going to take it to another level, and you have to expect that if you're Union.
Yeah, Delta State knowing they have nothing to lose here, Alex. I mean, regardless of how they do in the Gulf South Conference. And I guess they're going to say that she didn't have everything established.
Foot was clearly over the line.
But I think the reason being is because she didn't establish everything, because you have to have both feet and the ball established, and she didn't have everything established to begin with. So I don't think that is a backcourt.
Gaines answers on the other end after the high arching floater from Rush. It's a 10-point lead. 40 seconds left to go on the main ticker.
Yeah, the post play for the Lady Bulldogs tonight has been spectacular. Gaines, Lytle, even Gooden Rogers all getting involved some way, shape, form, or fashion.
Talk about a big 3. Off the glass, no good. Rebound goes to Ross. Shareka from outside. Can't find it. And Perkins saves it into Gaines. 16 seconds left to go. Union's going to hold for the final shot of the quarter. 8 seconds left. Perkins with it. Rush playing tight defense. They get it to Schumpert. Off the screen. Still alive. And there's your buzzer. 51-41. Delta State winning that quarter 19-16. But ladies and gentlemen, we've got 10 more minutes to decide who moves on and who goes home. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break here on E+ TV6.
United. United in academic excellence and research. United in love for Christ and biblical truth. United in service and caring for people. United for you. At Union University, no matter what you study, you are part of a close-knit community dedicated to your success. Union University. United in spirit, grounded in truth.
And we welcome you back here for the fourth quarter of action here on E+TV6, E+TV6.com, and UUathletics.com. We've got one more final quarter of action. Logan, it's going to be a tough one. We've seen a battle all night long from both teams. How do you expect the first 3 minutes to shape up for either of these teams?
Well, Alex, I think Union really a rough end to the third quarter there. Just couldn't buy a bucket. I think Delta State, they're going to have to keep up this intensity on the defensive side of the ball if they want to hold Union out of their game, so to speak. But the Lady Bulldogs, Alex, they gotta let their game flow through their post players, through Gaines, through Lytle. That'll open up the guard play as well. And right now, Alex, Union just seems like they're forcing shots out of their flow, so to speak.
Sarah Lytle leading all scorers with 16. Playing very well, the senior from Memphis. Been a key factor down low. She'll get the ball now. Driving with reaches. And she will travel, and she'll turn it over, and Beard will come into the game for reaches. A reminder that this is the first round of the conference tournament. March might as well just be a couple of days away. In fact, it is. And again, a reminder that the winner of this game will move on this weekend to play in Birmingham against the Lady Flames of Lee. Jordan pull-up jumper. Got it to go off the glass. Takisha Jordan coming alive in this second half.
Yeah, coming off of a 29-point game, it's rare you see Shumpert get beat off the dribble like that. A great pull-up jumper by Jordan. And the bank is open.
It's always open in tournament time. Gaines showing that the bank's always open. Down low in the post. And she extends the lead back to 10. And Bria Gaines, we've highlighted the play of Sarah Lytle, but Gaines with 12 points as well. Shareka, the floater from just inside the charity line, and she'll get it to go. It just seems like Delta State always has an answer. Miscommunication and a turnover. Team chemistry just doesn't seem to be quite there like it usually is. Ross connects. Union coming out of the gate in this fourth quarter, struggling.
Yeah, just slow, honestly. Yeah. Slow to start. Delta State playing well so far. And Delta State starting to make shots as well.
Get it to Perkins. Inside to Gaines. Back out to Lytle. Inside to Perkins. And there's going to be a foul called on the floor on Maddie Shareka. That'll be her first foul, team first of the quarter. And mind you, you've got Ross with 3 fouls, Jordan with 4 fouls, Johnson with 3 fouls. All these players playing in foul trouble and still pushing and making a run in this game.
And they've done a better job in the second half, adjusting to how the game's being called. And honestly, Alex, in foul trouble, they've played extremely well.
Shumpert forces up another long shot. Possession arrow is going to go towards Delta State. Alondrea Rush will check back in. She's actually had a better second half, only scoring 3 points in the first half. She's got 8 in this half. Had 8 in the third quarter. They get the ball over to Herod. She's working on Avery Carpenter. They get it to Ross, over to Rush. Just inside the three-point line. Off the mark, tipped around, rebound goes to Carpenter. So Union will set it up with Shumpert. She's going to drive, spin, and she'll draw the contact. And if that's on Johnson, that'll be her 4th. It will be. And so now Delta State really playing with some foul trouble. But at this point, I mean, you don't really have enough time to really manage as far as taking them out of the game. You only have 7.5 minutes left to go, and for Delta State, their season could be over.
Yeah, and I look at this. Lady Bulldogs, especially their guards, they haven't really gotten to the line a whole bunch of times. This is Shumpert's third and fourth free throw attempts of the game. Perkins 2 for 3 at the line, but, I mean, Reach is 0 for 2 as well. But the guard play, Alex, I think they're much better when they're driving to the basket. And late in the third quarter, and, well, for the first few possessions in the fourth quarter, they didn't. But so it's a good sign to see Chelsea Shumpert driving all the way to the basket, drawing the foul there.
Well, it's not only that, too, but you have to realize, for instance, in this game alone, Shumpert hasn't been shooting well from outside. So naturally, you're inclined to go more toward the basket. And when they do, they more often than not have success, just like you were talking about. Jordan again playing with 4 fouls, and it goes off Jordan's leg. Good defense right there from Chelsea Shumpert.
This Bulldogs backcourt, Alex, active hands all the time. That's what makes Perkins and Shumpert so dangerous on the defensive side of the ball.
Shumpert driving, getting some contact. That'll be the 3rd personal foul on Herod. And Coach Roden, really not much he can do about it with the majority of his players playing with 3 or more fouls. It's the 3rd team foul of the quarter. 7:08 to go. Still anyone's contest. It's an 8-point Union lead. Shumpert driving again, looking for contact. She'll get it, but they're going to call a travel. And an uncharacteristic turnover right there from Chelsea Shumpert. That'll be Union's 8th turnover. Only Shumpert's 2nd of the contest.
I don't know exactly where she walked there, Alex. That's a questionable call, but either way.
Ball inside to Jackson. Tipped around, stolen by Perkins. Perkins driving. Wisely going to pull it out. Reset the offense. Carpenter's going to drive baseline. Kicks it out to Gooden Rogers. Just inside the 3-point line, short. Rebound goes to Ross. And Union just still leaving the door open for Delta State. And an offensive foul called on Ross. That's going to be her 4th. Coach Roden, furious. Right in the face of the official. And he is not happy.
I believe they just issued Coach Roden a warning.
And the fouls just keep piling up. Now, we can talk about personal fouls all day long, but another key stat, too, is that's Delta State's 4th team foul. 1 more, and for the remainder of the game, Union's going to be at the free throw line. Lytle with the basketball, driving right at Ross. Ross wisely backs up, and Lytle, what a great, intelligent move to realize she's got 4 fouls, drive the basketball right at her.
Yeah, Lytle playing aggressive, and you got to like that. You got to like that if you're a Lady Bulldog fan. 18 points now for the senior.
Stolen away by Perkins. Wide open in the open floor. Lays it in, and it's a 12-point lead for the Lady Bulldogs. The Fred making a little bit of noise here on a Tuesday night in the first round of the tournament. 5.5 minutes left to go. Union making a little bit of a run themselves.
Union, Alex, finally playing with a bit of energy.
Jordan with the answer. Step back jumper from the elbow. She's playing really well tonight, Logan.
She's a primetime player, Alex. I mean, what a time to come alive to, averaging nearly 20 points per game in her last 7, playing extremely well here tonight.
And she swats Carpenter's shot right back in her face. Jordan putting the team on her shoulders this evening, doing everything she can to try to come away with an upset here tonight in Jackson, Tennessee.
This could be the seniors' last game of the season, so.
She's playing like it. Rogers, seeing the mismatch, goes right up on Shareka, and she'll go to the charity line.
It's one of the first times tonight we've seen Gooden Rogers down underneath.
Yeah.
And, I mean, she's a force to be reckoned with, too. I mean, I listed as 6'1". Wingspan is probably longer than that.
Yeah.
And a pretty good free throw shooter as well.
And she connects. And again, like you saw, ladies and gentlemen, during halftime, Logan, you got the chance to speak with her. Just a really special player, a great addition to this year's ball team.
Yeah, I guarantee you if you asked her 4 or 5 years ago where she would be at this point in this stage of her career, I guarantee you Union would probably be the last place on her list. But she has such a great attitude about how she goes about the season.
She pushes the lead back up to 12. I believe there's a issue with the score clock. As we're just 1 second over 5 minutes. Media timeout coming up. Right now is when Delta State has to make their push. To get it to Jordan. Jordan with the basketball. Working off the screen. Inside to Jackson. Wide open down low, and she's fouled. They're going to get Carpenter on the foul, but a nice screen and roll. Good find right there by Jordan.
Yeah, and that was a late roll, too. And that's the key. Holding on to the pick as long as you can, then bursting to the basket with energy, and that's exactly what Simone Jackson did there, earning herself a trip to the line.
And she will take the pair of free throws when we return as we take a media timeout. Only 4 minutes left to go to decide a victor in this game. We'll be right back here on E+ TV6.
Since I've been part of the Jackson 24/7 news team, I've enjoyed covering the weather. We have every kind of weather conditions in West Tennessee. When snow comes, we have to be ready to tell you how it will affect us. When severe weather strikes, it could be a matter of life or death. But we also have our share of sunny days that bring out the best in the people of West Tennessee. Everybody needs to know what the weather is going to be. That's why I'm part of the Jackson 24/7 news team.
Miles Randall, part of the team you trust on TV6.
Well, we welcome you back here to the Fred DeLay Gymnasium here on E+ TV6. Again, we cannot stress how important this is. We take you to the North Alabama, West Alabama contest. And it's the Lady Tigers, Logan, a 12-point lead on the road. The 7 seed looking to upset the 2 seed, which could be huge if Union were to advance and clear them a nice path for the Gulf South Conference title. Again, we previewed that was going to be a big matchup. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we will keep you updated with that score. Again, West Alabama leading North Alabama 60-48 with just a few minutes left to go. Well, with just a few minutes left to go in this game, Daniel, take us through Coach Campbell's final game plan as to really push ahead and seal this win and really try to put away Delta State right now.
Well, Coach was livid for a while, but he's calmed down a bit. And right now, it's just a consistent, firm message to attack and really just use the words, step on their throats as they finish out this game.
We thank you, Daniel Potts, for the vivid and the clear picture of the words of Coach Mark Campbell. And that's all Union's trying to do right now is they get it inside to Gooden Rogers, who can't finish it. Really, they've just struggled doing this. They've had opportunities, but they can't quite put Delta State away.
Yeah, Delta State, I mean, as we previewed, they don't go away. And if you give them opportunities like that, they're gonna take advantage of them.
Alondrea Rush, a huge shot from the corner, and it's an 8-point ball game. You said it, Logan. They will not go away.
Yeah, great shot there by Rush, too. Rush, another, well, she's a junior, but an experienced one at that. 3-year starter, not wanting her team to go away.
Carpenter baseline jumper with the answer. It's back up to 11.
And
go ahead.
It's definitely been a trying season for Avery Carpenter, the young freshman with starting experience at the beginning of the season, but now embracing a role off the bench. And honestly, Alex, she's capable of some big-time performances.
And what all Coach Campbell needs out of her is just consistent minutes and hard play. And she's done that tonight. Now, I believe that's going to be on Rush. It'll only be her second. She's one of the star players that isn't in foul trouble at this moment. But, like we said, over the foul limit are the Lady Statesmen, and that's going to send Jada Perkins to the line, where she has gone 2 of 3 this evening. Make it 2 of 4, 10 total points, 6 steals, 6 assists, 4 rebounds for the junior in this game. So Shareka and Jackson will check out. Ross and Johnson back in, both with 4 fouls. Perkins true on the second free throw. It's a 64-53 lead. 3:23 left to go. A trip to the Gulf South Conference semifinals on the line. They get it to Rush. Some contact as she goes to the floor. Here's Jordan. Driving, pull up. Rebound goes to Lytle. And now here comes Perkins in transition. No look pass over to Carpenter. Same spot, same result. And a great find right there from Jada Perkins.
Assist number 7 for the junior.
And she has just played a complete game, as she always does.
Look at the stat line, 11 points, 7 assists, 6 steals, add 4 rebounds. She really does do it all for the Lady Bulldogs.
Picking up another rebound on cue is Perkins. Now it's to the point in the game, up 13. Coach Campbell likes to slow this down. No rush as they get it inside to Gaines. Gaines trying to work on Johnson, spinning. Off the glass, good. And the post play has been incredible tonight here at the Fred.
38 points in the paint for the Lady Bulldogs. Bria Gaines with a beautiful spin move there.
32 of them have come from Gaines and Lytle.
It's good math there, Alex.
I'm guessing, really, honestly. I don't know. Taking a stab in the dark. Sherman's going to hold this out. Harrod playing tight defense. 12 on the shot clock. There's the screen. There's the roll. They get it to Lytle. Pass to Gaines. And it is textbook for the post players. Playing off each other, finding each other in the open areas. And Union now in full control, and they're going to go on and win this thing. Jordan's going to be fouled with 51.7 seconds left to go as Union leads by 17. And really just what a performance. We talked about Union honestly kind of struggling in late game situations, but tonight, finally, when it counted, these last 4 minutes of the game, really putting away Delta State.
Yeah, great job there. And again, in transition, a great job. And Schumpert, Lytle, Perkins, and Carpenter will check out as they get a nice round of applause from the Union faithful here tonight. So we get a look at the Lady Bull Pups, if you will, the young freshmen coming in. But Alex, a nice run at the right time for the Lady Bulldogs, getting steals in transition, doing what they need to do, what they needed to do tonight to put away Delta State.
Well, Coach Roden's going to take a timeout. We'll take one with him. It's a 15-point lead as Union pretty much has it in the bag. We'll be right back after these messages on E+ TV6.
Listen to me. I have 30 seconds.
What did you about me?
About being a kid with a disability.
I am a joker.
I am a songwriter. And I'm here to learn. I am a girl who likes math and science. I am Coach B.
Hey, I'm speaking up.
And I am not.
And I'm not.
And I am not going to be bullied. Got it?
Well, there's Buster the Bulldog, probably the #1 fan of the Union Lady Bulldogs this season. And Logan, you just mentioned a interesting stat. You know, Union playing a good game here, up 15 late in the game, but only doing something that Delta State's only allowed 2 times this season.
Yeah, 70 points for the Lady Bulldogs, only the second time Delta State has allowed 70-plus points in the season. The last time was all the way back on January the 4th when North Alabama defeated them 74-49.
And Lee Little with the icing on the cake, if you will, converting on the 3. And Some young players for Coach Campbell's team getting some action right here as it's the freshman from Lexington, number 10, Briley Bromley. The freshman from Gadsden, Tennessee, Ellie Pratt. And last but not least, again, another freshman, but we've seen her quite a bit, Emily Beard in the game. But nice to see Coach Campbell getting his young players into some postseason action. And again, it's not confirmed yet, but could be Union's last home game, depending on how the seeding goes for the region tournament. But with this win, Union in great shape to host the South Regional, which will take place here in a couple of weeks. Quick update with 4 minutes, 11 seconds left to go. West Alabama leading North Alabama 62-56. And Pratt going to the free throw line. Can't convert. And I believe going to the line the first time this season. And she's finally on the board. So 13 seconds left, 74-58. Rush is going to step back and take a shot off the mark. And there's your game. Bromley secures the rebound, and Union gets the victory, 74-58. They will advance to face off against Lee in the semifinals of the conference tournament this Saturday in Birmingham. It has been a pleasure bringing you this game. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have a post-game interview with the winning coach, head coach Mark Campbell. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen, here on E+ TV 6.
Community leaders are talking about Steve Beverly's TV classics, but are they serious? Do they like classic TV? Do they really watch?
That's a lot of questions in one sentence.
Community leaders are talking about Steve Beverly's TV classics, but are they serious? Do they like classic TV? Do they really watch?
That's a lot of questions in one sentence, Steve.
What do they think about the host?
I don't have any clear answers to that.
What usually happens if you watch TV classics?
A very entertaining evening for people.
Watch TV Classics Saturday and Sunday at 7 on TV6.
Oh, that's a good idea.
On Jackson 24/7, we often focus on women who have been a success in business or education. People like Shirley Jones, who's given 25 years of her life to public service. Mandy White, a leader in economic development in Jackson and in the entire state. Gwen Gavin, who's an example for minority women in business. And our own Dr. Joanne Stevenson, an advocate for the family in the Hub City. These women are role models for all of us, and I enjoy telling their stories on Jackson 24/7.
Mary Barnes, part of the team you trust on TV6.
Gig, 1,000 megabit speed, now available to any E+ broadband internet customer. This gig-enhanced infrastructure has the capacity to increase speeds in the future. E+ broadband, what many interpreted as JA's entrance into cable television, was actually the foundation of an unparalleled communications infrastructure. Looking out for Jackson's economic and lifestyle future is all a part of JEA today.
And we welcome you back to the home of the Union Lady Bulldogs. I'm joined by head coach of the women's team, Coach Mark Campbell. Coach, first off, congratulations on the tournament win.
Thanks.
Well, just the way this game played, it was a slow start in the first half a little bit, but just kind of take us through the second half is really what got going and what allowed you to establish a big lead.
Well, we obviously caused a lot of turnovers. JP got a bunch of steals in both sections. First half, during that section, got some rebounds. We got some baskets in transition. And then she got some steals there during that stretch when we needed it. We got, I guess, cut to 6. So I think we just got some energy from defensive stuff. And so that last group that was in, when Avery came in and defended, was really nice to see us at all 5 positions defending for about 3 or 4 minute stretch. And so I think that was the difference.
Talk about the post play tonight, specifically from Lytle and Gaines, really just being able to work that 1-2 punch this evening.
Yeah, no, we did a good job of getting it inside. I don't know how many turnovers we had tonight. Man, not very many, but I just thought we could have fed a little bit more. And so we've just got to be more dependent upon our inside game because we're not shooting the ball very well from outside right now.
Now defensively again, in that second half specifically, Jordan was able to come alive, rush start, hit some outside shots. How, as you move forward, prevent top players from getting open looks and really buckle down on defense like you were talking about?
Well, there's they're the best two guards on a team in our league as far as being able to handle, create. They just don't have many great scorers around them. And so, especially once our girls get tired, Chelsea and JP don't get much rest. And so I think that's a difficult guard. Hopefully we won't see a lot of teams that have two really good guards quickness-wise.
Well, coming up, you got Lee again. Lee with the victory tonight over West Georgia. You're going to face them this weekend down in Birmingham. Kind of the opposite effect. Lee, very well played and well coached in the post. How do you prepare, again, coming off a team where you played with heavy guards, now shifting into a team with great post play?
Yeah, I mean, it's a totally different thing. So we're going to play fast. Both teams are going to play fast. We know each other really well. It's just going to come down to who shoots the ball better and executes.
Well, Coach, congratulations as always, and best of luck to you as you continue throughout the tournament.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. In the action, we'll take a commercial break. We'll come back to the desk where Logan and myself will break down this game and what's going to come up next for Union as they continue throughout the Gulf South Conference Tournament. A lot of basketball left to be played for the Lady Bulldogs. We'll tell you how it's going to end up here on E+ TV 6. So stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages.
Here's an energy-saving tip for the kitchen. Only run the dishwasher when you have a full load of dishes and let the dishes air dry. This will save hot water and electricity.
Keep the filters in your home clean. Your furnace filter should be cleaned or replaced monthly. The dryer filter should be cleaned before each use. A clean filter means better airflow, and that keeps the unit running properly.
I love sports. It's honestly just a natural part of my life. Jackson is the kind of city where sports is a part of who we are. High school football is the king of Friday nights every fall. The Jackson Generals add to the quality of life of our community. And we have a perennial contender in women's college basketball. Sports is the ultimate live theater, and I'm glad it's a part of Jackson 24/7.
Logan Whaley, part of the team you trust every day on E+ TV 6.
Listen to me. I have 30 seconds.
What did you about me?
About being a kid with a disability.
I am a joker.
I am a songwriter. And I'm here to learn. I am a girl who likes math and science. I am going to be valedictorian.
Hey, I'm speaking up.
And I am not.
And I'm not.
And I am not going to be bullied. Got it?
Since I've been part of the Jackson 24/7 news team, I've enjoyed covering the weather. We have every kind of weather conditions in West Tennessee. When snow comes, we have to be ready to tell you how it will affect us. When severe weather strikes, it could be a matter of life or death. But we also have our share of sunny days that bring out the best in the people of West Tennessee. Everybody needs to know what the weather is going to be. That's why I'm part of the Jackson 24/7 news team.
Miles Randall, part of the team you trust on TV 6.
Steve Beverly's TV Classics can cure what ails you.
I watched and it got rid of my hemorrhoids.
Staying awake at night? Just watch TV Classics.
My daughter watched, and she went right to sleep.
Do not watch Steve Beverly's TV Classics if fights upset your stomach. Do not watch if high drama leads to emotional distress. And do not turn on TV 6 Saturday or Sunday at 7 if hillbillies give you a gallbladder attack.
Ask your doctor if Steve Beverly's Classics is right for you.
Here's an energy-saving tip for the kitchen. Only run the dishwasher when you have a full load of dishes and let the dishes air dry. This will save hot water and electricity.
Keep the filters in your home clean. Your furnace filter should be cleaned or replaced monthly. The dryer filter should be cleaned before each use. A clean filter means better airflow, and that keeps the unit running properly.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local boys and girls clubs. Great future.
United. United in academic excellence and research. United in love for Christ and biblical truth. United in service and caring for people. United for you. At Union University, no matter what you study, you are part of a close-knit community dedicated to your success. Union University. United in spirit, grounded in truth.
If you watch Steve Beverly's TV Classics, you may get a snack.
What do you say we toast some marshmallows, huh?
It's with your host,
Big Steve.
Some people watch even if they don't like the host.
Big Steve notwithstanding.
What do smart viewers think?
Oh, Mr. B, you're just a doozy.
Steve Beverly's TV Classics, Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 10 on TV6.
Back here on E+ TV6, it's a final. The Lady Bulldogs will advance to the Gulf South Conference semifinals in Birmingham this Saturday. They will play Lee. I'm joined by our player of the game tonight, Sarah Lytle. And Sarah, first off, congratulations on a great game.
Thank you so much.
Now, what were you seeing out there from Delta State? Obviously, a little bit undersized, but what was your mindset out there, especially going up against a pretty undersized team?
Number 10 is a very talented player. Number 32 is a very talented player. So we did our best to contain them. Didn't work out too well, but we were lucky enough to get a win.
Now, just talk about the game plan and the scouting report for Delta State. Obviously, a great defensive team, and offensively they do struggle a little bit. But what weaknesses did you see out there?
How they score is off ball screens with 32 and 10. So it was either trap 32 off the ball screens or high cushion on 10. And for offense, they're not very deep. So we figured we'd run them and try to get them in foul trouble.
And the final total on points in the paint, you guys outscored them 40-12. Just talk about what it's meant for you, having the help in Bria Gaines and Kyvan Gooden-Rogers, especially starting the season when you were practically one of the few ones out there, if not the only one out there. So talk about what they've meant to you this season.
You know, they're great girls. It's definitely great to get a break running from up and down the court, but what it really meant to me from them is they decided to accept Jesus into their lives. And so that's really what they mean to me more than anything. I play 4 games in a row without them, you know.
Right. So just looking ahead now, you play a very talented lead team, one of the most talented post players in the GSC, and Carrie Cheeks. Just talk about what you guys need to do to advance to the championship game.
We need to run the floor as hard as we can, and we're pretty deep from the post play. So if we can get that girl in foul trouble and get her out of there, then that would be great.
Absolutely. Now we have time for one last question.
Okay.
Just talk about how special this team means to you, and what this season, with this being your senior year and a possibility of this being your final home game, just talk about what this year and this team has meant to you.
It's meant so much to me. They're so open about where they are in life, and they're so willing to give it all in practice. And so, you know, me not being a big fan of basketball, it makes it so easy to come to practice every day and play hard just to see how hard they work.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it. Sarah, congratulations on a great game, and hopefully for your guys' sake, this won't be the last home game for you guys.
Hopefully.
Well, there you have it. Sarah Lytle, a great game tonight. Final stat line, 18 points on 8 of 11 shooting, 6 rebounds. Our player of the game tonight. Well, coming up next, we're going to take a long break, and then Alex and I will wrap things up at the desk with the final numbers. Again, Union with a huge 74-58 victory tonight. Lady Bulldogs will advance to the Gulf South Conference semifinals in Birmingham, Alabama this Saturday. Tip-off is set for 12:15. Well, again, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be right back here on E+ TV6.
If you watch Steve Beverly's TV Classics, you may get a snack.
What do you say we toast some marshmallows, huh?
It's with your host,
Big Steve.
Some people watch even if they don't like the host.
Big Steve notwithstanding.
What do smart viewers think?
Oh, Mr. B, you're just a doozy.
Steve Beverly's TV Classics, Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 10 on TV6. Community leaders are talking about Steve Beverly's TV Classics, but are they serious? Do they like classic TV? Do they really watch?
That's a lot of questions in one sentence, Steve.
What do they think about the host?
I don't have any clear answers to that.
What usually happens if you watch TV Classics?
A very entertaining evening for people.
Watch TV Classics Saturday and Sunday at 7 on TV6.
Oh, that's a good idea.
On Jackson 24/7, we often focus on women who have been a success in business or education. People like Shirley Jones, who's given 25 years of her life to public service. Mandy White, a leader in economic development in Jackson and in the entire state. Gwen Gavin, who's an example for minority women in business. And our own Dr. Joanne Stevenson, an advocate for the family in the Hub City. These women are role models for all of us, and I enjoy telling their stories on Jackson 24/7.
Mary Barnes, part of the team you trust on TV6.
Gig, 1,000 megabit speed, now available to any E+ broadband internet customer. This gig-enhanced infrastructure has the capacity to increase speeds in the future. E+ broadband, what many interpreted as JA's entrance into cable television, was actually the foundation of an unparalleled communications infrastructure. Looking out for Jackson's economic and lifestyle future is all a part of JEA today.
Steve Beverly's TV Classics can cure what ails you.
I watched and it got rid of my hemorrhoids.
Staying awake at night? Just watch TV Classics.
My daughter watched and she went right to sleep.
Do not watch Steve Beverly's TV Classics if bites upset your stomach. Do not watch if high drama leads to emotional distress. And do not turn on TV6 Saturday or Sunday at 7 if hillbillies give you a gallbladder attack.
Ask your doctor if Steve Beverly's Classics is right for you.
Since I've been part of the Jackson 24/7 news team, I've enjoyed covering the weather. We have every kind of weather conditions in West Tennessee. When snow comes, we have to be ready to tell you how it will affect us. When severe weather strikes, it could be a matter of life or death. But we also have our share of sunny days that bring out the best in the people of West Tennessee. Everybody needs to know what the weather is going to be. That's why I'm part of the Jackson 24/7 news team.
Miles Randall, part of the team you trust on TV6.
Now you can have access to utility outage tips and tools anytime, anywhere from Jackson Energy Authority. Visit the Outage Center from your computer, tablet, or mobile device to check the map for an electric outage in your area. Also, stay up to date with recent social media outage posts and photos from JEA. For all this and more, go to jaxenergy.com and visit the Outage Center for outage information in your area.
United. United in academic excellence and research. United in love for Christ and biblical truth. United in service and caring for people. United for you. At Union University, no matter what you study, you are part of a close-knit community dedicated to your success. Union University. United in spirit. Grounded in truth.
And we welcome you back to Union University, the home of the Lady Bulldogs. Logan, a great finish by Union as they take home the victory against Delta State tonight. But one game that we really want to keep an eye out on, and a game that is just 3 seconds from being done, a game that not a lot of people really focused on to begin with, but now they've got their eyes on it now.
Yeah, absolutely. West Alabama, 70-65, leading over North Alabama, 3 seconds from advancing to the Gulf South Conference semifinals. And Tasia Garrett-Hammett, what a great performance by her.
Right.
The Gulf South Conference Freshman of the Year, 17 points, 12 rebounds. And Alex, this could very well be the biggest upset in NCAA Division II if this goes final.
Exactly. North Alabama, a team that's been in the national rankings, right there head-to-head with Union. They've beaten Union this season in the regular season, played toe-to-toe with them. A fantastic team coached by Missy Tiber. But they're going to fall in the first round of the tournament. Now, they will more than likely get a region bid, but a team that right now it's gone final. 70-65 is your final score, but North Alabama is going to drop. So now, Logan, let's take a look at that picture of what Saturday is going to look like.
Well, you'll have West Alabama. They'll play West Florida, the bottom 2 seeds, so to speak. That's
6 and 7.
Wow.
Gotta love the madness. It's not even March yet.
It's not even March. February madness, if you will. And then you'll have the 1 and 4 seeds. Union will play Lee this upcoming Saturday. Tip-off is set for 12:15, and it'll be at Samford University in Birmingham. And just what a great day for basketball.
It is,
Alex.
It is. I mentioned earlier that yesterday at the Division I level, conference tournament started, and now you're just throwing this whole madness in as it's conference tournament time, the end of the season where every every second matters. Every game means so much to every single team going through the tournament. So, again, just to recap, final scores, West Alabama knocks off North Alabama on the road, 70-65, another upset. The 6th seed over the 3 seed, West Florida, 68-49 over Valdosta State. And the opponent coming up for the Lady Bulldogs, Lee, knocks off West Georgia, 88-78. And last but not least, again, just a reminder, Union 74-58 over Delta State. Well, let's take a look one more time and just break down this game. We heard Coach Campbell talk about at the end of the game that turnovers were key, and that's what created defensive opportunities and which led to just easy baskets on the other end for the Lady Bulldogs.
Yeah, 18 turnovers for the Lady Statesmen. That's the main story. Delta State is a very good defensive team, and
Right.
give them a lot of credit. Again, 74 points ties the highest given up this season for Delta State. I mean, only other time they've given up 70-plus points was against North Alabama. And, I mean, just a great defensive team, a team that likes to grind it out, take a long time in their possessions, and they force a lot of turnovers. Union only with 8 turnovers tonight. To me, that's the biggest victory there. 18 turnovers for Delta State led to 23 points off of those turnovers. In the paint, too, as I previewed with Sarah Lytle, 40-12. Again, just the post players for Union coming up in the clutch. Lytle with 18 and 6. Bria Gaines probably didn't even play 15 minutes, had 16 points. And Kyvan Gooden-Rogers, 5 points, played well defensively. The post play for Union, and if you would have told me this beginning of the season, I probably would have been a bit surprised because the backcourt of Chelsea Shumpert and Jada Perkins is one of the best in the nation. And to see players like Lytle, like Gooden-Rogers, like Gaines step up in postseason play, it's an encouraging sign for the Lady Bulldogs, and it takes a lot of pressure off of Chelsea Shumpert and off of Jada Perkins to put up 30 and 20 points each.
Yeah, and I think the word of the night that probably you and I can agree on was dominant. The post play was dominant. There was no answer on the other end from inside for Delta State. It was Gaines, it was Lytle, it was Gooden-Rogers. 1, 2, 3 at you every single time. And credit the guards for getting them the opportunities, but you have to look at just how almost on every single possession, they were at least getting a touch, and when they did, they made the most of it. But let's give credit to Delta State. Coming in on the road, the 8 seed against one of the top teams in Division II, not just in the conference, in the entire nation, and they came in and they put up a fight.
Absolutely right, Alex. And, I mean, great performances by the seniors on this team.
Right.
Takisha Jordan, coming off of a 29-point game, puts up 20. It felt like everything she was throwing up was going in. Added 9 rebounds as well. And then Alondrea Rush, the experienced starter, the 3-year starter, put up 17. A lot of those in the second half. And, again, Alexis Ross, the senior, with 8 points. She played well. Simone Jackson, only a sophomore, put up 7. She'll be an impact player.
Right.
And honestly, the post play for Delta State looks pretty good in the future. To me, the biggest thing, Raven Johnson, the reigning Gulf South Conference Freshman of the Week, the freshman, 6'3", held scoreless by the Lady Bulldogs. So Union getting defensive on their own end, only allowing 58 points. But Delta State, a great team. They'll be back strong next year. They're a perennial contender in the Gulf South Conference every season. And I don't envision them staying down for much longer.
They will. And now coming up, Union will face off against a opponent. You mentioned it, Logan. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. They're going to face off against the Lee Lady Flames, in which will be a great matchup. So, just like Logan said, here's your Final Four of the Gulf South Conference. It will be Union and Lee at 12:15. Make sure you want to tune into that game. We won't be covering it, but you can go to the Gulf South Conference website, and they will have live stats and also the upset round, if you will. West Florida will take on West Alabama in a surprise to a lot of us, and that is going to be your remaining field of the Gulf South Conference tournament. Well, for Logan Whaley, I'm Alex Northcutt and the crew from Union University, led by Paul Scholze and Lawson Mann. We thank you for joining us here for Union Lady Bulldogs basketball here on ePlusTV6, ePlusTV6.com, and UUathletics.com. Have a wonderful evening, and God bless.